Alright, how's it going, guys? It's Alex from the Nerd Hub Radio, and today I'm joined by Nate and Bob, and we're doing a podcast. A little late, but we're doing it. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Good.
Yeah, Nate was dead for the past week, and
Much.
we couldn't get a hold of him, and I didn't know what was going on, but he just suddenly popped out of the blue, and is joining the podcast, so welcome
Back from the dead.
Yeah. And welcome back, Bob, who we haven't seen since the second podcast, because he wasn't in on the mini podcast, the mini cast. That was just me and Nate, but we promise a probably maybe full-length podcast tonight. We'll see how long it goes, and we're going to talk about stuff, like
Possibly.
video game stuff and such.
Nerdy shit.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what we are, because we're nerds.
Yeah, proud of it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, of course.
They used to have one of those parades, you know? You know, they
Uh-huh.
like gay pride parades, but like nerd pride.
Nerd Pride Parade. We
We're
should do it.
nerdy.
And we'll,
We're dorky. Get used to
Yeah,
it.
I was nerd raging out the other day because everyone's going nuts for the Big Bang Theory, and I heard some sound clips from it on another podcast,
uh-huh.
and it was offensively just stereotypical. They
Yeah,
have characters
Dude,
that are really nerdy on it.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it, but what I heard from it, it was like this character would be
Oh.
like, "Oh no, somebody could be playing my Nintendo right now." Laugh track. It has Super Mario Brothers in it right now. Laugh track, and it would just go on and on with just really cliched, nerdy references, and I was like, "Really?"
It's not that bad. I mean, I didn't really like it, but
I don't remember it being that
the
bad
thing
either.
the thing that's good too is the thing they mainly talk about is like physics, and the shit they say, even though it's in jargon, is actually true. Like a lot of it is like they're
Mhm.
talking about string theory, and he makes a joke, and even if you don't know what he's talking about, you still laugh. He said funny words, but like some of their jokes are like really pretty good. But I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a huge fan. Just the fact that it has a laugh track, I can't stand shows with laugh.
Dude, I hate laugh tracks. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
ugh.
I don't need to know that it's funny. You know, I should laugh
But-
without you having to tell me to laugh.
What is cool is this one guy on it. He has a belt buckle. In every show, it's different, and they're all awesome. They're like a Triforce belt buckle, or like an NES controller, or like just obscure. But I noticed it because
Dude,
my
that's
friends
so
watch it.
obscure. What's a
Yeah.
Triforce?
No, not that. No, like obscure stuff I can't remember.
It's a Jewish kid, too.
Yeah, he's got like this little. I don't know. It's pretty good.
And
It's
he
not like
wears
the show.
turtlenecks. He wears turtlenecks and,
No, not him.
yeah, isn't it him?
He tucks his shirt into his pants all crazy. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I
I'm
think
not
it
an
would-
expert on the show.
I don't remember their names
Don't,
either.
don't discount the show completely until you've seen an episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not completely discounting it, but hearing the laugh tracks over what they were talking about, I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, but it's somewhat identifiable. There's one guy that's off the deep end nerdy.
Off the derp end. He's off the derp end.
It worked, right? Same point.
So it's like if someone gets in a car wreck and then they're permanently retarded, did they go off the derp end?
They went off.
Uh,
They went full derp.
Touchdown
Oh man!
to full down.
Wow! It's terrible. This is almost in line with my the first podcast and the derping in
Mhm.
the first podcast.
Oh, Derp.
Oh, the
Derp's
Derp.
the name. Derp's the name of my Minecraft dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is.
Awesome.
Everybody's Halo tag.
Oh man.
Snake Ear Pilot or whatever. You get
Okay.
one of those randomly generated names.
So moving us back onto video games, what have y'all been playing recently, Bob?
I have been playing a lot of Kingdoms of Reckoning. A lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm about 20 hours in, and I love that game.
Kingdoms
I
of
played
Amalur.
nothing because I don't have any systems right now. But earlier today I played some Uncharted 3. John's real into that. I went over to their house and playing it when their babies weren't like screaming and trying to kill things. But I'm not a big Uncharted fan at all.
I've never played any of them.
I played the
It's-
first two.
It's a mixture between a shooter, Assassin's Creed, jumping around like a monkey, and a really, really good storyline that's like a
Mhm.
movie. And it's like the most movie-like game you'll ever play, but the only reason, I mean, the game's great, the game is amazing, but the only reason I don't like it is because the main character is such a douchebag, and I really don't, that's his character, like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he is a douchebag, that is his character, like the persona, he's that quirky guy or whatever, but I don't like playing douchebag, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that I didn't like is it took me so long to get used to the combat style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's cover based, it's over the shoulder, third person. But like when you're running in third person, and you're looking around, you don't have a. You know how some games will have a little dot.
Reticle.
Well, no, just like a dot when you're in third person without your gun.
I know
So
what
at
you're
least you
talking
know
about,
that when you pull your gun up, you know where you're looking.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that in Uncharted.
That is important.
You know, so sometimes you're running around and you'll pull up iron sights and you'll be looking in a random direction because you didn't realize that your camera was looking one way. Or no, that's what it was. The gun would pull up in the way that Drake was facing, not the way you were.
Yeah, the classic Dead, what is it? Dead Rising. Dead Rising did the
Oh
exact
my
same
god.
thing.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, you'd
Except
be
Dead
looking.
Rising is way worse.
Yeah, Dead
But
Rising.
it's
is-
the
Dead Rising
it's
is one
the
of the
same
hardest
thing.
games.
It's like I really wanted to play it because I'm all into zombies, but I mean, I could not get past that first boss. I'm like, you retard, I'm looking this way. Like,
Now, if you're into games that are unintentionally harder than Dark Souls, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not because the game was hard. It's just everything was so dumb.
Yeah.
You know, like, and the bosses. I mean, the bosses were just ridiculously overpowered.
Mm.
You
Talking
know.
about Dead Rising?
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
it's not your second playthrough, they're just incredibly difficult.
It's
I
like,
don't know why.
This clown is juggling chainsaws, and if he bumps into me, I die.
Basically.
Oh, yeah, he, like, had balloons
Remember we
crap,
did.
but-
Remember, was it me and you, Bob? Were we playing that?
Yeah, we played a lot of it.
Oh man, and we just could not get past him.
I
You know,
don't
we'd go
want
in
it to
like
play it, you
we'd
know?
get like 10 people to follow us, and then we'd give them guns, and we would take like we would take like katanas
All the
and go
people were
after
just
them.
competent though.
Yeah, and they'd all get killed, and then we would die. And
It's the same thing. That game is the same as Sniper for me. I really wanted to play it, but the game was goddamn terrible, and I
The game
really
wouldn't let you
wanted
play.
it. Yeah, I really wanted it to just, okay, come on, let's just do this right, you know? Let's make it work. And they're like, no, we're gonna make a game that could be something you would love, but we're gonna make it annoying enough to piss you off enough to not play it.
exactly.
Which was Sniper. Sniper's like, okay, we finished the game, let's not test it at all. Let's put it out with no story. But because Sniper's another game that was like a really good idea. It's an entire shooter, but you're only playing a sniper. You're not running around shotgunning people or whatever. But it didn't really work out like that, and the storyline was basically nothing. And it was that game is #1 on my hate list. It was just the shittiest. Oh my god, there's a grain of stand. Oh, I'm stuck on him. Oh, I gotta reset the freaking Xbox because I can't move.
Whole
I can't
game's like
jump.
driving in Borderlands.
Yeah, I love driving in Borderlands.
Insta death.
It's amazing.
Can't hit a too powerful enemy because they will blow you up.
That's so funny because one time I was just like speeding. It was on like the third DLC. I'm like speeding down the road real fast. Like we have to get past all these enemies, and an enemy drops from the ceiling and lands in front of me and just blows my car up.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I loved it. I was playing the second playthrough of Borderlands, and
Like literal playthrough too.
yeah, literally, I've beaten it like 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the guy, the boss who's in the car, like you're in the car arena?
Oh yeah, Mad Mel.
Mad Mel. I went in and he blew up my car in like the first 10 seconds. So then I pulled out my my machine gun and I killed him in one clip of my machine gun.
Yeah, you
Like,
get
my
really
gun
OP
was
whenever it's the
so-
second playthrough.
My gun was so powerful that, you know, it was more powerful than the car. Like my gun did more power.
It's a lot
more,
easier.
damage.
So the thing about driving cars in Borderlands is that their guns are really, I mean,
really
all the
weak.
guns, I guess, the rocket launcher and the heavy machine gun, they're just underpowered.
They're
So
useless.
you're better off just hopping out of the car, killing your enemies, and getting back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Because he was showing me that when we were playing it, and I'm like blaring on a guy, and it kind of makes sense. I'm on a giant gun; it should be doing damage. But
Well, it's funny because it makes the enemies like bounce back, so it'd be like, man, this skag is flying all over the place, but still not dying.
Yeah.
One.
Well, I mean, it was so crazy because like I beat the second playthrough in one session. So it went from being like a 25-hour game to like a 8-hour game because like I
Once you
beat
know what you're doing and
everything
you
in
have a
10
sense of
seconds.
direction, and you can keep up with what the main quests are. It's a quick game.
Yeah, well, I did every quest, but like I said, I walk into like Sledge, walked into Sledge's safe house, 2 clips, he was dead. One bullet basically cut through his shields.
His shields are always weak. I don't know why. They're like, watch out for his shields. They're very powerful. And you go in and his shields are gone.
Yeah, but so like it was really really easy. But then I got to the final boss, right? And oh my goodness, I don't know why, but it took me like an hour of shooting to freaking kill him.
So you're talking about the vault thing?
Yeah, the vault boss, the vault monster thing, or whatever the heck it is. Because like, I sat there and I had, I think like the largest ammo capacity for everything. I regenerated ammo, and I sat behind a pillar and just like scoped in on his critical spot, and just shot until I ran out of bullets, switched guns, shot until I ran out of bullets, switched guns. And I'm literally going through every class of weapon I have.
It's such a bad
trying
final
to
boss
kill
fight.
him.
Everything
Yeah.
about the final boss fight in Borderlands sucks. Like, you finally kill him, and then you're like, awesome, what loot did I get? Wow, it's all
Nothing.
white.
Yeah, you don't get anything.
But the real final
boss
boss
is
of Borderlands is actually really freaking hard to kill and gives you the best loot ever. So,
Yeah, but
which I'm talking about Cromorax. I don't know if you've done all the DLCs.
Cromorax. Yeah, I've beaten them all except Cromorax. I haven't beaten Cromorax.
I've been able to glitch and kill Cromorax a few times.
I haven't been able to do it.
What you
Is
do?
that hard?
Yeah,
Dude, he
is.
is that hard. Like, this is unbelievably hard. What I did to beat him was I was playing a soldier. So as soon as you get up to where you're about to fight him, you just drop your turret and then hope that your turret distracts him and his freaking worms that are running around.
Mm-hmm.
And while it distracts them, you sprint all the way to the specific spot on the edge of the world because you can fall off. And you will fall off because those worms will smack you and send you flying off the side. And there's a spot where you can there's 2 levels and you can duck down where he can't see you and you're kind of hanging off the edge. And then once, he's all well distracted and your turret goes away, you can basically pop up and shoot him a bunch of times while you're standing still on that spot and he won't be able to see you.
Yeah, because the way the AI is configured on Borderlands is, within a certain distance, if you move, they'll aggro on you, and they'll attack you. But as long as you don't move and you just stand there and shoot at him, he won't aggro at you. He'll just sit there and quote-unquote threaten you.
Oh, so you can be out of his
sits there and
aggro.
thrashes around a bunch.
Like
Yeah.
your range of your weapon can be long enough so that you're out of their aggro circle or whatever.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So he's just going roar, and you're just like unloading into him.
The problem with trying to kill Cromorax that way is that you can only by taking out all his critical spots.
Yeah, it's
And
the only way he takes damage.
naturally, you can take out all but one of them because he'll be facing towards you trying to threaten you. And you have to make a little mini game out of shooting his critical spots while he's flailing around like an idiot. But you can't hit him in the back. And so the only way I've ever been able to pull it off is have a second person at that point come up and distract him and run in and make him turn around, and then basically I'll shoot him in the back, he'll turn around and start trying to threaten me because he won't come after me still. Then they shoot him in the back and we just sit there and kite him back and forth and shoot him in the back a bunch. But after he dies, he drops hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of guns.
Mm-hmm. He drops amazing guns. It's awesome.
It's hilarious because Borderlands it's just so batshit crazy. They're like, screw it, this one enemy's gonna drop 100 guns, and then he just makes this gigantic pile of guns.
Well, at least they gave us an ending. Oh man.
Yeah, a real ending and not the original.
But yeah, well, that's why I'm so excited for, as a PC gamer at least, to Borderlands 2, because they released us a while back, but they released basically a love letter. This game is a love letter to PC gamers. They said, you know what, guys, we heard you, and we've heard you crying about every game that's come out recently, and they said, you know what, we're gonna make this game for you guys. You know, so there's an FOV slider. There's all the settings that, you know, a PC gamer needs, and you know, they've got full keyboard and mouse support, you know, and just everything that all these games are missing, you know, that we'd love to have.
So
And they're
it's
really
it's the opposite of that Sonic Generations demo I did.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, they're
It's
really
like, hit X, and I'm like, okay, and I hit X, nothing happens. I'm like, alright. Okay, how do I figure out what key is X? Oh, X is R. Okay, that
you
makes
didn't
sense.
actually you didn't even give me PC controls.
Yeah, like just to pull up the menu, I had to hit Enter. If you hit Escape, it didn't work. I'm like, damn, like that's just baseline. That's
It
good
was
that
bad.
they're doing that though. When is
Yeah.
the release date? Have they quoted it yet?
Yes.
September 22nd or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Or,
No, it's in September, isn't it?
yeah,
You know what I was pissed about?
it's kind of the end of the month or in the year. Sorry.
They released the date for BioShock Infinite. It's October, late October. I'm like, oh, I thought we were actually gonna have a non-holiday season game. And I'm like, I guess that's
Yeah.
just impossible.
Nope.
They will
Not
never
gonna
exist
happen.
again. If you want to buy a game between January and August, you're shit out of luck.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's only 2 months a year you get new games.
Mhm. I don't know why.
Nah, I don't know. They must be making. I think it's because people can't afford them, and then they get them as gifts. But
Yeah.
still.
Oh, hey Nate, you're echoing, bro.
September 18th. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Nate, you're
Borderlands
echoing.
2.
Nate, you're echoing.
I'm not even talking.
I know. I'm saying I'm echoing on you.
Yeah.
Turn it down some more. I'll turn it down a little bit more.
Yeah. But I can hear myself. It's kind of weird. But okay, so that's what y'all been playing. As far as I've been playing, dude, I literally have not been playing anything recently because I can't. Like, I literally cannot play anything in my library. Like, I can play.
That's you're playing Battlefield.
I can play Battlefield. Yeah, I can play Battlefield and Burnout Paradise, and that's it on my computer. Because the new motherboard I installed, for some reason, it just has an issue with ActiveX. Like, it won't install ActiveX correctly. Like, I tried to upload Deus Ex. Whenever I upload it, it just instantly crashes and reboots. Just Cause freezes. Mafia 2 doesn't even load. It just, you know, I click on Gotham City Imposters, it says, launching, and then nothing ever happens.
Yeah, you were telling me, you were texting me, I texted you about flashing your BIOS.
I have to, and I just...
Oh my god, dude, it makes
man.
me so nervous. That is the most, like, dangerous thing you can do to your computer, because when you flash your BIOS, you're based, like, it's like your motherboard has that little program, you know, that runs everything. And so when you flash it, you're overriding it, and you only got one shot. If that USB drive doesn't go perfect, and it doesn't work, you got a giant coaster of a motherboard. Because I've done it before. It's so sad. I'm like, I'm gonna upgrade my BIOS, and then I put in the USB drive, upgrade BIOS, yes, and then it's like doing freezes. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm
So
really nervous about it. I actually bought a new flash drive that me and you are gonna use, Nate.
For mailing?
It's called it's a Corsair Flash Voyager. It's a 16 gig flash drive. I got it for $10.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness, it was really cheap. But it's really good. Apparently, it's what do they call it? It's a certain type of
Awesome.
flash drive that doesn't have moving parts, right? So it's actually shock resistant. So it'll be really good to mail because I won't have to worry about it getting bumped and
Cool.
losing data or anything like that. But the thing that I'm trying to figure out is I downloaded from the site the upgrade that apparently Asus released to specifically fix this problem,
Yeah.
And the problem is it's a ROM. And I'm going to turn this hard drive real quick into a bootable hard drive, right?
Right.
And I need to put it on there. However, it only will accept ISOs. So I need to figure out either how to get an ISO for the game or something. I really don't know. but I need to either turn that ROM into an ISO or download the ISO version of it. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a huge pain in the butt.
You know, so
I
I'm
hate
actually
it when they do that too.
what I'm kind of thinking about doing is taking the file on the flash drive to Best Buy, right?
Yeah, have them do it.
And well, not they actually said that they wouldn't upgrade it for me.
You really?
Yeah, they said that just because there's a chance that it can break, they don't want to
Oh, they
risk it.
did?
Yeah.
They're
But
like, fuck that. I'm not flashing your BIOS.
what I want to know what they'll do is, if I give them the file, will they burn it to a disk for me?
You could
Like
do that.
burn it to a bootable disk, and then just let me take the disk and run the disk.
Yeah, well, you're not actually booting. You do it in the BIOS, so I think it might
Oh.
it could just be a ROM file probably, because you actually do it from your BIOS.
Well,
so
but the thing
it
is
doesn't
that
have
like,
anything to do with your hard drive. or-
okay, so does the flash drive need to be bootable? Because they said that the
No.
flash drive, well, because here, look, I emailed the ASUS team, right?
This is the tech support part of the podcast.
Yeah, it's the tech support. So
I
if any of
like
y'all ever have this
secrets.
issue,
And I know what you're talking about.
okay, so I contacted ASUS, right? And they said
on gateway.
they said
the job
oh, I want learning
They
computer.
said to do it. Go ahead.
Well, they said, we suggest you use the Easy Flash utility to update the BIOS. Please store the BIOS file to a USB flash disk which has been formatted as a bootable disk. Press, or PRES, exclamation point, space S. That's how he spelled press, with an exclamation point, for some reason. Alt plus
happens all the
F2, yeah, to get the Easy Flash menu when posting. P.S. Due to the nature of BIOS is dangerous, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that's all he tells me. He doesn't tell me what to do
Yeah.
after I do it. He doesn't tell me. I'm like, why would you give me such little information? You bastard. So I don't know if...
Apply Mountain Dew liberally. Oh, I love my strong bad. No, we'll have to talk about
Oh,
it sometime, man.
Yeah, so
But
I
it
don't
is
know.
Probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done.
I know,
because
I
I have a 50%
fail rate.
50% success rate. I've only done it
Oh,
twice.
God.
Every time I've had to do it past then, I'm like, fuck that. I'm like,
Well, but see, that's the thing is like, they're like, well, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. And I'm like, well, I have to. I can't like do my channel if I can't play any games.
yeah, you should try
Oh,
before you do
man.
that. Try fiddling with your graphics cards drivers and see if you can find.
It's not my graphics card though. It's literally
It's so weird though, because ActiveX is like software.
yeah.
So
It won't. I don't know what it
has something to do
does.
with your SLI. You should.
No, I thought it did. So I turned off the SLI, right? Still doesn't work.
Oh, that's crazy.
Nope. And like I said, I went to the help page of Deus Ex, right?
But, what did your Battlefield 3 look like on SLI?
Oh, it was the most beautiful thing ever. Oh
you
my
max it out?
god. Yeah, dude, it was maxed on ultra. Everything. And I pulled off 60 frames per second.
Holy crap! Dude.
Oh, it was...
That's like one of the biggest memory card of a game right now. Honestly, I couldn't tell you a game that would be more hard on your computer than Battlefield 3 right now.
Oh, man, it is... Well, The Witcher 2, I bet you. The
You know what
Witcher
I'm
2
talking
is
about, Bob?
looks
What you got?
amazing.
I know what you're talking about. I just
Well,
can't really add anything to it.
Well, no, do you know what I did to my computer?
No.
The SLI is really sweet. It's like you hook two graphics cards to each other, and they split the load. So every other line will be one graphics card. So you basically make a graphics card twice as powerful. And he's got two ridiculous ones in there. And you could make it three eventually.
Mhm, I could make it 3 if I
Oh,
really
yeah,
wanted
Xbox
to.
can do that. Whatever.
Yeah, you tape them together. With duct tape.
And then apply Mountain Dew.
Really.
You need the Mountain Dew for that one.
Yeah, you'll need that one. But
Yeah.
oh man, it looks beautiful. It makes, dude, this okay. So, my computer before I upgraded it, it made the space like at my desk about 8 degrees warmer, right?
Mhm.
You know, because I got my PC running. I have my two monitors, which are putting off a decent amount of heat. You know, and then I upgraded it, and my room has gone up like 15 degrees.
Really?
It's crazy. I have like a fan sitting like right next to me because it's just unbearably hot in my room.
I can't.
at
I
the
have
moment.
to have the cover off my case from now on because if I don't and I play a video game, my computer shuts off.
Yeah, my room gets really hot because I'm running my TV in here, and it's kind of a small room. I gotta run an AC because I have a 55-inch TV.
Yeah, how's it
And
working out, man? Did you ever get glasses for it?
no, I'm thinking about if I'm gonna get some, I'm gonna get the monster ones because they have some universal ones that you can get.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really hate the shape of the Sony ones.
Yeah,
So
might as well get some nice ones. Man, that'd be awesome too. Do you have it hooked up? See, what you need to do is get you, build you a, like, mid-range desktop, man. Put that thing on your TV.
That's
oh
what
man,
we
I
do.
know. I gotta get a desktop. Like okay, so this is what my laptop has been doing. No matter what I do with my laptop, I have a little kind of a stand for it or whatever that you put it on with a fan under it so that it doesn't overheat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can have it on that with the fan running for 5 minutes, and my keys are so hot that I'm like, this thing is frying. My computer just always smells like burning plastic.
That's good though. That means it's working real hard for you.
Yeah, it's just trying harder than normal.
I'm
No.
gonna do this for you.
It's gonna melt down soon. It's gonna burst into flames, I think.
Well, that is actually the so the heat sink on a laptop of the processor is actually the metal underneath the keys.
Hmm.
But you're not supposed to be able to feel it. That's not a good thing.
Oh, it's really bad. I'm surprised it runs. Like, often I have to turn it off and flip it over and take the battery out and then put the battery back in and start it again because it starts freaking out and doing random stuff. But, you know, I really do need to get a PC. Get a desktop, really.
Well, my graphics card's pretty decent, but it overheated. So now it overheats like super easily. So I run I run my Magic game, the Duel of the Planeswalkers game, in windowed mode so I can keep an eye on my temperature. And it is a solid about 95 degrees centigrade like whenever it's on, and it'll like that's its operating temperature, which is bad. Like, you're never supposed to go over 90, like melting. But I know that it's fine as long as it gets to 99. If it gets above 99, then it just, I think when it hits 100, it just like, no, and then my computer just turns off.
You just hear a voice go, no, and it's
No. That'd be cool if it screamed like a woman or something.
it's just like, fatality.
Fatality.
Well, I had that problem with my computer, my laptop at least. Like I have to have my bedside fan right next to it because just having it on, like, it will heat up so much that if you even get close to the grill, it can burn you. Like,
Yeah.
literally
Even
burn
worse
you.
if you're using the battery, that battery gets hot too.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's just insane how hot that computer gets, and it sucks. But yeah, so my desktop gets really hot right now, and I need to fix one of my. I have 3 case fans, or 3, 9, 10, 9. What are the real small ones? I don't know how long that is. Like it's,
Purple?
Ha, shut up.
No,
No,
they're 80 millimeters.
8 millimeters.
80.
80. Okay, so I have 3 80 millimeters, and
8
then
millimeters?
8 millimeters? No, 8 millimeter
They're
tiny
like
little bitty
fucking
fans.
awesome tiny fans.
No, I have 380. I have 380, and then one, really big case fan.
Yeah.
But one of my little ones went out, so I need to actually get that fixed because that's actually it's losing a lot of, or it's heating up a little bit more than I want to. Because after about an hour of playing Battlefield, my little temperature monitor on my computer starts flipping out. Because those graphics cards put out a lot of heat,
Yeah, they do.
Cause,
Especially when you're chugging it on Battlefield. That's
yeah,
like,
dude,
pull out.
I didn't think it would. I didn't think I would actually max out my GPUs. I do. Like they go up to like 90% each of them.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, so that actually makes me kind of worried because remember how we were talking about, like, to run my computer efficiently, I need a 600 watt power supply, and I have a 650.
Yeah.
It makes me worried that I'm gonna
I thought it was
overload.
380 we figured out.
No, well, that's what that said. I went on Nvidia's
Mm-hmm.
power one, or they have a power calculator, and they went up to 600.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 times more than a fridge.
Yeah, so so I was like, oh man, this could get bad if I'm not careful. So I'm probably gonna invest in a more powerful power supply anyways, later.
Powerful.
But well, actually, it's kind of neat. I really want to get this upgrade for my motherboard because my motherboard actually has a program, or not a program, but an option that it will limit every single other process in order to maximize your gaming process. The ones related to video games.
That's awesome.
So I was like, that's
one of the reasons
awesome.
why like an Xbox or a PS3 can run such good games on such slow processors, because they're not multitasking. They're not
Yep.
multitasking machines. Like your computer's a multitasking machine. It does like
Mhm.
8,000 things at the
That's
same
the same
time.
reason that an iPhone works way better than an Android phone, because it doesn't multitask like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like your game systems, they run one, at most two things. They run the game and then the thing that says exit. And
They
that's
run the mini dashboard that pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, there's another quote, rumor or whatever, but this one was on Yahoo front page, so I was kind of like, hey, this is maybe slightly believable. Because I mean, if I go to a gaming site and I hear some sort of, next-gen rumor, I'm kind of skeptical, but I'm like, it's on Yahoo, I'm still skeptical, but not as much.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, they're talking about the next PS4 is called, what is it called? This is true, but I don't remember, Osiris or something. I can't remember now. But they have the test names out there. But they're saying holiday 2013, which is long enough to not really care,
Yeah.
But
Long enough for them to push it back more.
supposedly it's like Xbox is gonna be, and I think we talked about this the last podcast about the game. You get a game and it's for your system, so that GameStop doesn't steal everyone's money by selling used games.
Yeah, just running the DRM up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We talked about, and I mentioned to get your opinion on this, Bob, being that you're a console gamer. They announced that they weren't going, or Xbox announced that they weren't going to be releasing any information on next gen system at E3, right? Because they're pushing back the next gen system for about 2 more years because of they say because the Kinect is so versatile, it gives us so many more options and blah 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 blah. So they're they're not even gonna start thinking about making the new system for another year. And so what do you think of that, Bob? Are you ready for a new system, and are you kind of sick of, I mean, what, the Xbox is almost 7 years old, right?
I'm definitely
6?
ready for a new system, and I think this whole
6.
Kinect thing is bullshit because it's just getting away from what people like. There's an age demographic for Kinect, yeah,
Yeah.
and they want to secure that age demographic, but at the same time, with us not being a part of that age demographic, we just feel screwed out of video
Yeah.
games because
Mm-hmm.
if you're 20 or older and you like Kinect, like, go punch yourself in the face.
Quit eating
Because-
paint chips.
I mean, I like the versatility of Kinect where it's like Xbox, analyze, enhance, but it's just like there's no good gaming potential for it. Like, my sister likes playing dancing games, but she's, much younger than me.
It's kind of sad too, because it's a really awesome piece of technology. It's just every game
It's not a
associated with
gaming
it
piece of
sucks.
technology.
No, right.
Well,
And they think that this is the future of gaming, and it's just kind of dissolving what gaming has always been about, and that's about being able to be in control. You can't have control without a controller.
Reload.
well, and and the thing, like,
Grenade!
Reload. Grenade. Reload.
and
About that is walking in while someone's playing, being like, grenade! And it's like, no, you killed my team!
No, you know what I would get a Kinect for though, if screaming curse words and profanity would trigger certain thing. Fuck you, Xbox, and that would it would be no. I know what it would be. It'd be like, fucking hacker bastard. If you say something about hacking or glitching, but you scream it with the word fuck in the same sentence, it'll quit that game. So that'd be useful.
It's like anytime you say noob, it kicks you.
well, and the thing is, like, they are right, motion technology could be a viable means of playing a game. However, the Kinect is just not powerful enough. It's
Okay, I
not.
disagree with you because I don't think motion gaming can ever be a really great thing, especially because we're fat Americans. And we don't
Well,
like-
yeah. But I mean, you saw. I don't know if I sent you the video. There was this. I don't even remember. Like, I'm just gonna give you the basic facts. You can go look it up on YouTube. But basically, this guy set out. He's like, you know what? I want to create a gaming experience for Battlefield 3 that is unlike any experience ever.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so basically, he went out, got this incredibly powerful, computer systems, these a projection dome, right? And then 4 projectors that would project a solid 360-degree screen on the dome, a unidirectional treadmill that no matter how fast you ran or walked, you would always stay in the center of the treadmill, right? It'd always pull you back to the center, so you'd never run off it.
Omnidirectional treadmill. It was really weird.
Yeah, and then they built a little gun, and basically they immersed you 100% into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they even set it up to where if you were getting shot at, they had paintball guns rigged up around the dome that would shoot you from whatever direction you were getting shot at from.
I can see like 10 minutes and someone's just like,
Yeah.
But like they stuck a guy who he's like an ex-Marine, and when he was playing, like you just saw the seriousness. You saw the seriousness on his face. He was doing everything that he did when he was in the war. He was checking corners, checking every single window. Like when he picked up a fallen teammate, because it's part of the movie, he actually like knelt down and reached a hand out to try to actually pick up the character. He was that into the game.
It was cool. I like that video. We gotta link it to Bob after this. But I think that is really fun every once in a while. But you don't want to do it all the time.
I think it would be a lot of fun to. I like being immersed. Maybe that's just me. I like the idea of being immersed that much into the game, because eventually I do get tired of just sitting at a keyboard playing.
no, that's awesome, that's cool, but I don't think it's viable like that.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to just perfect the whole virtual reality glasses than
Well, that's what I'm
create
saying.
an entire dome for
Well,
somebody
that's
to-
what I'm saying is that if someone is capable of coming up with that, like
Just-
by
just
themselves,
off,
just
yeah.
just
off the
because they
cuff,
want to
right.
make that. I mean, Microsoft. I mean, they make some of the most powerful computer components in the world. I'm sure they could come up with a motion control device that really tracks you well.
Hey,
and,
the only see, I think motion control is like it's like Guitar Hero controllers.
Yep.
It's fun every once in a while, but I do not want to play Call of Duty with a Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah, I don't want the next console to be just Guitar Hero.
Yeah. And if you have to buy the Kinect for it, I'm just gonna murder some kids or something, because like I
Well,
don't
it's always
like
the
that.
good alternative to not doing something that you don't want to do.
Murder.
Yeah, just murder some kids.
Go murder some kids. Yeah.
It equals out, but
the murdering of children is not officially endorsed by the Nerd Hub Radio. I'm just gonna let you know that right now for legal purposes.
just Nathan. No, I'm just kidding. I was kind of gonna go off on the track, but augmented reality I think is a huge thing.
Oh
It's
yes.
gonna be freaking ridiculous. Like,
yes.
have you guys
Oh,
heard of
yeah,
like
definitely.
true augmented reality? Like, I have glasses put on and whatever equipment. I'm walking down the street, and instead of a car, it overlays over the car. I don't know, a ball or something, and then, but
And
when
your
you
mission is
turn-
to jump in front of the ball and stop it.
yeah, it's good for, doing that, but it just makes it so that whatever you're doing, I mean, it makes the real world into something else. And like the stuff I got now is kind of cheesy. Like those shooting games you can do with the 3DS where you look around and you can find little guys to shoot. But like true augmented reality would be ridiculous because you could
know, I
just
think-
think it's like, I don't know.
I think you're onto something there, though, because I think Microsoft has been kidnapping homeless people and just setting them up with contact lenses. And this explains all the crazy shit that people do.
Yeah, that's probably
You
it.
know?
Mm.
It's just a running experiment to see if it really works.
They
Well,
make
I mean, but
crackers
how
like
cool.
Skittles.
I mean, but imagine like if we could get like augmented reality, not just for video games, but how cool would it be that you're driving, you input your the directions, the place you want to go into your GPS, and then right in front of your car, a little line lights up and just tells you exactly where to go.
Yeah.
You know, or you're
It's
looking.
like playing Saints Row the Third. You just got the big arrows pop up on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those will be kind of distracting, but I mean,
They have it in a game. It's called Heavy Rain. I think it's a PS3 exclusive. But this dude, what he does is he's a cop, but he puts these glasses on, and he's got a desk in a real shitty office. But what it does when he puts the glasses on, his desk is in the middle of a forest, and then he can
Such a good
access
idea.
files and stuff. Yeah, can access stuff that he's put into it, like a computer, like a little, I don't know, PDA or something, and he can manipulate it with his hand. He has like a glove. I don't know how feasible augmented reality is, but I would 100% rather try something that was augmented reality than try something motion control.
No, it's
Yeah.
absolutely. You're completely right, Nathan, because it's like they're approaching motion control the wrong way. Like, do people want to stand in front of their console and like wave their arms around for a little camera so that on the TV screen something happens more than they want augmented reality? No.
Right.
no.
You want to have more control, not less control.
And it just doesn't offer real control doing that. It's a gimmick. It's a party favor. You know, it's a fun little thing that you can do, but basing the direction that they're going with the next console on that is basically going to create a big fracture in their fan base, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because people like us, people who are making the podcast, the people who are working in the games industry and for the journalism, video game journalism industry, as you would call it, I guess, all those people don't like that, you know? It seems like they would screw themselves if they really wanted to go in that direction.
Yeah, I think it's also like they take us for granted. We're that demographic that always buys the new systems and the video games, and so they're like, well, you know, we know these guys are always going to buy video games, so let's go for the kids, let's go for old people, let's go for dumb people that like to jump around, and then all of a sudden they center if they center the next console around Connect, you know, and then if like say PS3 doesn't, PS4 or whatever, then it's just gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that. I want a controller. Screw that, you know.
Yeah, really.
And they'll lose that demographic.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That
take this for example.
took
I
for
have
granted.
just refused to buy a PS Vita because of specific things like, really, you want $100 for 32 gigs of proprietary memory? Like, really? Yeah, I was like, fuck you. Drop the price. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy this because
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I paid $100 for 1.5 terabytes.
Yeah. It's even worse. That's even a worse price scale than when Xbox is selling hard drives. Oh, you want a 20 gig hard drive for $100? Like, what kind of drugs are you on?
It's
just
like, especially now, like that being the original like 7 years ago Xbox scale was bad, but it wasn't that bad. It's like now.
Yeah, it's worse now than it ever was with Xbox. That's pretty bad.
I'm just offended by that.
Well, and then also that it's a barrier to entry. You can't run your Vita without their stupid proprietary little
On
thing.
top
And
of
they don't
that,
tell
there's
you.
not enough there for me to want to play anyway. So
Yeah, it's like 5
it's like me
gigs.
waiting for 3DS to come out with something else that I want. Like, I got it as a Christmas present, but I wouldn't have bought it. And I'm still waiting for like Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion 2 and the games that are, you know, that I really want to play. My generation's Nintendo games.
Real, they got the they did pull. Then they pulled. Was it 264 games they have on there?
Yeah, they got Star Fox and they got Ocarina of Time. Which I've
Oh,
been
it's
trying to
3
play
then,
Ocarina
isn't it?
of Time 3D, and as somebody who didn't play that growing up, man, that game is not very fun. Like, it's less fun to just sit around and be like, man, if only I could figure out what I'm supposed to do next for like 3 hours. It's just not that much fun anymore whenever I could be playing Kingdoms of Amalur, where things are pretty clear and just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But speaking of Kingdoms of Amalur, I'd like to go on a little bit about that because I put like 20 hours into it. But so Amalur is pretty great because it scratches that itch that I always have for a World of Warcraft style game, because World of Warcraft has jaded me to video games and ruined my perspective.
Yeah.
But it's like Amalur functions in the same way that World of Warcraft functions, where you have zones and each zone has its own sort of like zone quest line. Then it kind of is also incorporated in different faction quest lines, and there's lots of side quests in the zone. And then in each zone there's like 5 to 10 lore stones, and if you can find all the lore stones within the zone, then you get a permanent perk, all that kind of stuff. So there's all the exploring and all the questing in areas, and the areas they don't they don't highlight what level the area is, and enemies don't have like numbers above their heads for what their level is, but each one has a level scale. Like going to a specific area, if the enemies have orange names, then you're like, oh shit, I'm not leveled high enough, and you're
You get in there and you're like, oop, wrong place, go back.
you walk in and something smashes you, and you're like, okay, well I'm not going back there for a little while. But it's really natural though. Like you don't end up doing that much. I did that like one time, and then of course you've got your talent trees, just like World of Warcraft. It doesn't go as deep as World of Warcraft, but it's like it's I would say it's like a bite-sized World of Warcraft. It's a good like console World of Warcraft style experience. Yeah. And I keep referring to World of Warcraft. The graphics even look like World of Warcraft. Like I'm like, oh, I'm going into Darnassus now. No wait, this is the first town. It's very similar, but it's such a good game.
It sounds good.
I bet you it probably doesn't look like World of Warcraft on PC. I bet you it looks better.
Hopefully it looks better, because World of Warcraft's like 6 years old.
World of Warcraft doesn't look good, but like the graphic style, you know what I mean? Like the really vibrant.
If they had gone, they did such a good job with World of Warcraft, because if they'd gone realistic, people would be rejecting that game like 4 years ago. Because they did the whole kind of cartoony-ish look in World of Warcraft. It stretched out their graphics way longer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what they've got going for the Anomaler too, because it's like, I mean, the facial animations are just shit, not good at all. But it doesn't take itself too seriously, so you don't really get mad at it for that.
Yeah. Did you see the facial animations on? I think it was L.A. Noire.
I have it. I have the game. I've never put it into my Xbox.
You just got to do it for the facial animations. It will blow you away. No, the graphics, the faces aren't that great. The graphics aren't that great. They're all pretty good. You know, they're nothing exceptional. But when they talk, it is ridiculous how nice the lip movement is and mouth movement.
Did you hear about how bad of a loss L.A. Noire was, though? Like, the amount of money they spent, and the return was just like, I can't remember. Really? It was something incredibly low, like 4% return.
It bombed like that Disney movie.
It bombed so hard.
That sucks, man. I mean, I don't care if the movie bombs. The video game, that's kind of bad.
Yeah.
I mean, especially a new title. Well, it's risky. You don't, you're in a market where the only surefire things are sequels and shooters. You know.
Yeah.
I feel bad whenever a detective game comes out that's amazing and it just doesn't do it. You know?
The yearly iteration.
People sit around and they bitch and complain about how the market never changes and we just keep getting more and more Call of Duty. Just speak with your wallet. Stop buying the same game over and over, and they'll stop making the same game over.
Yep. It's a buyer's market, you know.
It's like bitch getting paid, pay people to punch you in the mouth, and then bitch about getting punched in the mouth.
Well, and I mean, as far as that game goes, I played it, and the combat wasn't the greatest. Yeah, there were some issues with it, but I honestly enjoyed it more than I've ever enjoyed Modern Warfare.
Which one? What are you talking about?
No, like well, what I'm no. What I'm talking about is remember how one of the games that tanked really bad on release was L.A. Noire.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it didn't tank. It did really well initially, and then people just like bashed the crap out of it because they're like.
Well, it did well in terms of just kind of a new IP kind of game popping up, but the amount that they invested in it was just way too high.
They never got the return that they were expecting. Well, but the thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, it's a bad game. The combat was dumb. It was linear, blah blah blah. But the thing is, I had more fun playing L.A. Noire and trying to figure out these cases and stuff like that and talking to people than I did playing Modern Warfare 3. Like,
yeah.
I don't have that much fun playing Modern Warfare 3. I play it because I'm too lazy to turn my computer on. Like, there's so many, like, I would play some little flash game over Modern Warfare 3, and I can if we had actual viewers, I'm pretty sure I could feel all the rage going on, but it's not that much fun. Talk about linear games, shoot that person.
I think Modern Warfare, I think what's gonna happen, and it's really gonna be to, I guess Microsoft's fail point.
Mhm.
When people started getting, this is how it worked. People started getting sick of Halo. They moved to Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare became huge. It got too big. People are getting sick of Modern Warfare. When by the time this next Halo comes out, it is gonna fucking rock the shelves because everyone's gonna be ready to go back.
Yep.
I think.
Mhm.
I think so too.
Yeah, because I mean,
Like-
I stopped playing Halo when Modern Warfare 1 came out. I mean, I still played it at parties and with groups of people because that's always way more fun with Halo.
Yeah, you'd like to get together with people and make a room that just kept exploding continuously.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Or
that.
drive in circles in cars with hammers that are indestructible vehicles and fly across the map.
Well, but the thing like with
Last
Halo,
resort.
Halo was never as bad as Modern Warfare because each iteration of Halo they at least attempted to add something new into it.
It's
Mhm.
true.
You know, it
Yeah.
You have
yeah,
equipment,
they
then you have armor abilities.
Mhm.
But the thing is, though, all the things they added in Reach were basically from Call of Duty.
Also kind of true. Except
Yeah,
for the
'cause-
jetpacks and the...
no, well, the loadout, the whole loadout.
Well, I
The
mean, I
loadout
think
was
they-
never in Halo. Halo was always an even Steven game. You start off all the same, everything's on the map, and then now you start with stuff. And that's
Yeah, but the
what I
loadout's
Well-
really
so
don't
light that it really doesn't change it,
Yeah,
you know?
and really the loadout, all it does is adapt your play style. You know, I don't think it ever really gave you an unfair advantage. No loadout was better than the other loadout, you know. I mean, because
Oh, there were some
honestly,
that were better.
well, I mean, like, out of all the loadouts,
for like, I don't know, it was all right, but I don't like my Modern Warfare like Halo, and I don't like my Halo like Modern Warfare. What I really hated is the same thing happened with Black Ops. Was Haloified Call of Duty, and it's been the same way. Modern Warfare 3 is the same way. All the maps are small, it's all run and gun, there's no more sniping, there's no more keeping positions, it's all Haloified.
mhm.
And I hate these games are merging. I'm like, well, the good point about Halo is it was Halo, and the good point about Call of Duty was Call of Duty. Just leave it.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, like, out of all the loadouts in Halo, the only one I ever used was Sprint, because that was the only one that matched my play style.
Mhm.
You know, I liked being able to move very quickly between cover. You know, I liked being able to overtake someone if I was behind them. You know, and just stuff like that. You know, so I never used jetpack because it wasn't my play style. Never used.
Yeah, I would use jetpack on specific maps sometimes
Mhm.
because, like, Sword Base,
Yeah, that one.
you needed it there.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's kind of why I much prefer Battlefield. And now I can really say that I prefer Battlefield over Modern Warfare just because I've played both of them extensively now, you know, so I can really compare them. But, you know, I love the fact that on Battlefield, especially when you're playing like Conquest, there is a actual front line, you know. Every now and then you'll have one person slip
Yeah.
behind lines and, you know, stab you in the back, but 90% of the time there is a physical line where everybody meets
yeah,
and everyone's fighting.
That's how Call of Duty used to be. In
You know.
after 2, there was no line.
Yeah, because you just spawn randomly all
Yeah.
over the place. Whereas on Battlefield, you know, you'll spawn at your start point initially, and then
Mhm.
as you start capturing points, you move forward, or, you know, if you're, you know, there's always a left and right side, basically,
Yeah.
you know. And that's what I loved about the game, because you could actually snipe if you wanted to and be very effective, you know. You could be a really effective support gunner and just lay down a lot of, you know, fire down range and not necessarily trying to kill people, but just keeping their heads down, you know.
You know, I think the number one, I'm probably off of everyone else's opinion on this. The most, Halo 4, the thing I would look forward to most in it is the single player. Like,
I hope the single player returns to the Halo 3 style instead of being the
Mhm.
Reach style because,
Mhm.
man,
Yes.
3's single player campaign was so fun.
I think it's gonna be really good because you're Master Chief. You're not like Joe Smo Jackoff that can't ever talk.
I'm tired of the silent protagonist thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's just terrible.
it's trying to like borrow from RPGs and it doesn't work if you're not playing a
Yeah.
real RPG.
Well,
Yeah,
and the
it's
problem,
terrible. I hated both of those, both
Yeah.
ODST and Reach. You know, the stories were great, but I wasn't getting into it. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing with like RPGs and the silent protagonist is you are that silent protagonist in an
Yeah.
RPG. You know, you
Right, you
literally
make choices.
become that character, and you know, you feel like you're that character, and you care about that character.
That's a good point.
And on
But-
that topic, yeah, I recently was like, I feel like playing an RPG, and it had been a long time since I like played an RPG. Like, okay, so we have these meta RPGs that pop up a lot, but
Hmm.
so I was like, I have a lot of games that I never really played much, so I popped in Dragon Age because I never played it very much, and I was like, whoa, hang on a second, I'm like 15 minutes into this dialogue tree, I'm playing an RPG.
Hmm.
You know, like I'm making choices right now, and I'm developing a character based on how I would want, like not even based on me, but just based on how I want this character to be.
Hmm.
That's an RPG, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Being
not
a
like you're gonna-
silent protagonist that is in like an 8-hour hallway, that's not an RPG style. That doesn't.
It's
No,
not like
it's
you have a
not.
choice whether or not to blow something up. You either blow it up or you can't go forward.
Hmm.
It's like either you
No
forward or you
choice
stop
to
walking
make.
forward because you're gonna go eat some nachos.
But
I
I'm
don't-
looking forward to Master Chief because, yeah, Halo 3 was great. I mean, at the end of 2, I think it was the same. I hadn't played 1 in forever, but you know, you're in the Warthog, stuff's blowing up. You gotta go fast.
Hmm.
And he's all like, "Master Chief, it's gonna blow up." And you're like, "I know, bitch. Let's go."
Is that Slippy?
No, that was
Do a
Quick
barrel
time.
roll.
Okay.
Oh man.
Fox, I'm monkey food if I don't leave.
So probably the best part of playing Borderlands is whenever you pull off a barrel roll with your car.
Oh yeah.
I've done it probably 2 times ever, but it's just like stop playing the game and just be like, did anybody else see that?
Yeah. I pulled off a barrel roll in a Warthog. It was on my
It's always
music
fun.
video. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was a straight up barrel roll. It was not. It was a 1.5 twist. It's freaking.
So you
amazing.
landed upside down?
No wait. No, it was a 2 twist then. No, what it was it was one. It was one horizontal twist and a half of vertical. So I came off backwards and landed forwards, but spin. I'll have to show it to you. It's ridiculous.
You're still describing it that you're falling on your head, but I'll see.
No, it's good stuff. No, I saw this little. What? Tell me how to say this. It's an internet meme. How do you say it?
I say
Meme?
Meme.
Meme.
No, meme.
Meme.
Meme. Anyways, I saw one where this dog was dressed up like Star Fox and it totally looked like Star Fox, and he was laying on his back like this dog straight up looked like a fox, and he was laying on his back with his like legs in the air, and then it said like Star Fox is dead, and then there was like an eagle, a rabbit, an eagle, and a turtle all going yeah, or a frog all going no.
Oh
Is it
yeah,
like
I've seen
ridiculous?
it. I've seen it.
Why
Oh,
don't they
man.
make a new Star Fox that's decent?
They did. They tried a lot, and it just failed. So they decided just to make it 3D.
Like Sonic.
You know
Sonic
what's
sucks so hard.
stupid is that the you have gyroscopic I can't talk gyroscopic controls on your 3DS for Star Fox, but it's
Mhm.
like remember to use the 3D slider. So anytime you try to move your 3DS around, it just breaks it because it's because the way the 3D is. So you can't
just-
use those controls and still have the 3D because anytime you tilt the 3DS,
Oh, it messes with your 3D.
you can't see your 3D anymore. So
Yep.
I don't know. They're failing. Like Nintendo, they used to be so simple and basic, and they could come out with anything, and it was just like this works as it is. And now all of their hardware is fucked. You know, they released the Circle Pad Pro for the 3DS because obviously Vita had that on them, and then like Kid Icarus could work.
Oh, now
The
you
whole
gotta
Kid
talk
Icarus
about
thing is completely bullshit.
the Vita coming out. That's gotta be low blow, you know?
Mhm.
Because, I mean, they just came out, oh, look, we got a console, and you can play it on the screen, but the screen has to be in your house, and your console has to be on. You have to be about 30 feet away.
And the Vita's
And then, like,
actually,
We're gonna do this in 2 years. Are you so happy about this? And then, like, 3 months later, the Vita comes out. Hey, you can do the same thing now, but more awesome everywhere. And,
do the same thing that works.
Exactly. Well, but like I was talking to Nate about it, you know, it's this double standard us gamers have about like consoles. You know, if Nintendo goes, well, you know what? We've heard you saying, you know, you want a powerful system because Nintendo fans are tired of having the, you know, the lesser system, right? And they're like, so we'll make one that's as powerful as Xbox or even more powerful because, you know, we got the money to do it, but it's going to cost $800. And then the whole community's going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. $800 for a Nintendo? Nintendo's always been cheap. I'm not going to pay $800 for a Nintendo when I can just buy an Xbox, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, okay, well, you know what? Since you know you have that opinion, we'll make a weaker system, and it'll be $400. And they go, oh man, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play the console because it's so weak. You can't play anything. The graphics are
And they
stupid.
could release a Nintendo console that's more powerful than the Xbox for $400.
Well, they could, but they're not going
Yeah, you
to.
don't get his point. He's trying to make a point though. Like,
You know, we just
it's like nerd rage. It doesn't matter what
Exactly.
happens. Someone's gonna rage over it.
yeah, they
I
can't
kind of
make
disagree
a.
though, because I think that Nintendo could do it. Like, I think Nintendo could legitimately make a powerful console and be part of, you know, this kind of console race and actually rejoin it and be a player in it, and still be able to, you know, pull it off. You know, they wouldn't have to deal with the copious amounts of nerd rage. Of course, people are gonna nerd rage. The people that are gonna nerd rage are gonna nerd rage, but they're not gonna warrant any extra rage from people by just pulling into the console market as it is now, because how much is a Wii compared to how much is a PS3 right now?
Right.
All, you know, make the Wii twice as good, and then it's around the PS3 price range.
You know,
and
now that we've been
I
talking
think a lot of
about
people
it,
aren't mad.
I think they might be going in a good direction because the way their console's set up is a supposedly quote powerful system with a controller that's kind of, you know, gimmicky, but it's really obvious that they're gonna have another controller other than that screen one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So if they just
definitely.
come out with a straight up 2 analog stick controller and then a powerful system, and you don't have to buy that stupid screen thing, that would be like really smart. But I don't think they're gonna do it.
Well,
think
the screen's
I don't
gonna
think they are
come
either.
with the your first screen is gonna obviously come with your console. I mean, that's the whole reason. I mean, that's the big gimmicky thing. It's gonna come with your console.
Yeah, Alex is right. I'm sure they're gonna at least like make it mandatory. I think what they're gonna do is kind of have and then they're gonna be like, wait a second, we have gamers that aren't happy with this. Let's fuck with our hardware like we always do. And then they're
Yeah.
gonna come out with their like weird, wonky, like classic controller like they did for the for the Wii. It's gonna be like, this is kind of like a GameCube controller. See?
But not
No,
really. It's
They're
flat.
gonna have like a music stand and a third analog stick or something. Just let a third. You
This
want a
one's gonna
third
have 4
analog
prongs instead of 3.
stick? Yeah, there
Mhm.
you go. No, I think they have the. I think the whole reason why they wouldn't do something like that, I mean, it would just make so much damn sense. It's like, let people choose instead of shoving it down their throat. But I think they think, oh, if everyone doesn't have one of these gimmicky screens, then the people that don't have them will be like, you don't need that, and then they won't sell them or whatever. But
Mhm.
if they just let people decide what they wanted, it would be great.
I don't know. I'm like a younger gamer, and I still miss Nintendo being a legitimate console that people want to play. You know,
Yeah.
because I played N64 and GameCube, and that was that. I loved it. You know,
Mhm.
I didn't
64
need a
was
PS1.
the first multiplayer system, and it launched the whole shooter, you know.
Yep.
GoldenEye. I mean, you could play 4 people on a PlayStation, but I didn't know anyone that did ever. Like, there's no shooters on that. It was all single-player RPGs.
Well, you know, and even that, you know, Nintendo. How many legitimate titles did Nintendo have? You know, as far as hardcore titles.
Hardcore? Or,
Yeah, like a hardcore gamer title. You know,
Oh, like a
not
leg-
that many. Well, it's like, okay, it's
Well, yeah.
like,
but
consider
how
it-
many did
consider it like
Xbox
this.
do? Halo.
well, consider it like
Well,
this. You know, have you ever gone to like a legitimate, like awesome arcade that has, you know, like the Time Crises, and you know the House of the Deads and Resident Evils and all those, you know, really big, you know, fun, violent games. You know, that's what you can consider an Xbox. And then you go to Chuck E. Cheese that has all the little kiddie games, and that's like a Wii, and Nintendo. You know.
Yep.
It came out with a bunch of little kiddie games that were for casual gamers and people who just wanted to play, you know, Eminem's Epic Adventure. You know.
It's yeah.
Well,
it's sure.
that's the Wii, but I mean, even on the GameCube, whenever I was playing GameCube, it was like one of the only games I really played a whole lot was like Turok Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, I was playing those kinds of games, but then Wii just got so watered
off the
down
deep
on the
end.
experience.
Yeah, Wii was its whole downfall. It's just like I think one of the things too, if you think back to N64 and PS1, right? Game systems used to have their own games, and they don't anymore, really.
Yeah,
Like,
everything is being ported everywhere.
it's all ported, so it's no longer. I guess they no longer cares about the system, because they're just gonna cater to the lowest system on the market,
Yep.
But I don't know. It's. I have to say though, the system that I love the most, the old school, is the 64, just because you could plug in 4 controllers and you could kill each other on GoldenEye. You could play retarded Pokemon Stadium games.
Like Mario Party.
Mario Party was great. I mean, the games were kiddie, but they were fun. And like, like it's like Brawl or whatever, not Brawl, whatever it was, just Smash Brothers back on 64. Even now, people roll big into it, right? They love that stuff. And it's kiddie looking, but it's fun and it's competitive. And I think they've completely lost that part. They kept the kiddie looking and kind of lost the competitive. And then the fun's kind of halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, me being as young of a gamer as I am,
As I
is.
as I is, yeah. But being as young as I am, I still miss that Nintendo, Like, I still miss having my GameCube and just that being my core gaming.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're right. There's absolutely no reason why Nintendo cannot be a legitimate console and a legitimate contender in this race. There's nothing that Xbox or PlayStation has that Nintendo doesn't. I mean, and all in all, Nintendo has the customer base and the customer support that the Wii U, which is coming out, could be absolute crap, but millions of people are going to buy it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's Nintendo. It's just that label loyalty. It says Nintendo on it, so we're gonna buy it. So I don't know why they don't just use that ability and kind of take a risk, make a better console. Reach out to third-party people like you didn't do with the Wii,
They
and
actually
get some
are
good games.
saying that they're reaching out a lot more to third party for this one. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
they are actually.
I'm excited to see some good games as long as they don't say gimmicky is the way to go, because that's not the way to go. That's the way to alienate. A lot of
They've
people.
already taken a big step in the right direction with the controller, in the sense that it's a controller.
Mhm.
Like you actually use it the way that you would use a controller. Maybe it's a big tablet or whatever, but they're gonna have Call of Duty on it, and
But
it's gonna be playable.
and honestly, I wouldn't mind. What they were showing with the new, or with the Zelda game that's coming out for the Wii U. I wouldn't object to having the ability to be fighting, and then have on my little screen my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
That I can really quickly look down, swap up my inventory, swap out weapons or items, and not have to pause or anything like that.
You
That'd be kind of
just
cool.
reminded me, and I think I know where this whole idea came from. There used to be this game on GameCube called Crystal Chronicles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
man, I played the shit out of that.
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
can play it
Me too.
multiplayer, but the problem was
But you had to have,
a Game Boy Advance.
and you had to have the cable.
Yeah, and you had the cable, and I actually bought a Game Boy Advance for that freaking game.
Me too.
And
Yep. I bought the cable for the game.
Well, I bought it for that game and Four Swords, to play Four Swords with 4 people.
no, that game did it
That
too.
game is so much fun
That's
with 4
probably
people.
where they got the idea. I have to
Wii U
say,
doesn't have a new Crystal Chronicles game, then
Is it
it's
new?
all a waste.
Yeah, exactly.
In the same
But-
way that if Kinect doesn't get a Seaman game, then it's all a waste.
hmm
Please tell me you know what Seaman is.
No, I don't.
I don't.
Ah,
I don't.
it was a game for Dreamcast where you, you
What?
would put,
You're like, oh man, Xbox has to have this Dreamcast game.
you don't
Where are
even
we gonna
know.
pull that reference from?
No, you don't even know, man. Hang on.
Dreamcast
So,
is such a
Seaman.
niche console, dude.
So Seaman, you would put a microphone on your controller,
Uh-huh.
and the whole game was just like, there was a little bit that you could do with your controller, but the game was mainly just you talking to this weird fish with a man's face.
Oh, I totally remember that shit.
But it was so scary because the
awesome.
things that it could pick up on, and it would like repeat you and say things based on what you were saying. It was scary. It was like the creepiest thing ever. Because when it was young, it had a little kid's face, but then when it grew up, it would have a man. It would have a kid's face and a kid's voice. But then when it grew up, it would be a man. It would like ask you personal questions about your dating life and stuff.
It sounds like on the creepiness of Katamari. You know, I would love to play a Katamari game in 3D.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
It's like Hey You Pikachu, just with a pedo bear.
Hey, fuck you, Pikachu! Oh.
Dude, that's the only way that I played that game. Was, Pikachu, I hate you.
Pikachu, go cut yourself.
It
You're
was worth it.
adopted.
They worked it in too, you know, because you'd say it and Pikachu would go get a little razor blade. Man, that was a
Yeah.
really good game.
Interactive.
Bet you never knew there was an M-rated version.
Well, I got something I was thinking about earlier. Now, you know how the whole Wii system, it's powerful right now, you know, it's a little bit above the PS3 and the Xbox, but it will obviously be overtaken when the new systems come out,
Mhm.
right? I think they gotta get on the ball and release that thing soon. They need to have the Wii U, which is the retarded name, whatever.
It
Stupid.
is a terrible name.
But they need to have it a full year before anything else comes out, just so people buy it, because it's the only thing on the market. I think that's from pure marketing. If you're gonna put it out 6 months ahead of time, and then right after you put it out, like Microsoft and Sony are like, hey everybody, we're having a release date. It's 6 months from now, so just wait out. They're gonna have to at least do a year. So I think by
I think they're
Christmas-
gonna wait too long though, and it's gonna end up coming out closer to those,
Mhm.
and it's gonna screw itself just like the Wii screwed itself.
Yeah, they gotta realize they gotta get that thing out, because it probably sucks compared to the news.
Mhm.
Well, the other stuff I was reading too in that article is that they're really thinking 2013 both the Xbox and the PS3 are going to be coming out holiday-ish, like within a couple months, which would kind of be nice to have a real race, because I mean last time wasn't the Xbox out like a year before the PS3?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really like, ooh, which one's the best? And if they announced at the same time or around the same time, price wars would be lovely. I would love that.
Well,
Like, chut.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I did like how when they did reveal the Wii U, they're like, oh, look at this trailer we have. They can't even play it on the Xbox 360 because the Xbox isn't powerful enough. And you're like, well, yeah, I hope this, this next gen
so.
systems demo can't be played
Better
on
than
an
last
old.
gen.
Yeah.
I like how their selling point is the fact that it is a next gen console. It's
Exactly.
like, no wait, it is next gen. It is next gen.
We
Check it out.
promise. We absolutely promise.
Do you know how big that thing is? Have y'all seen it? It's like the size of a sandwich.
Yeah, that thing is
No.
tiny.
It is really small, and I don't understand.
It's like if you buy a regular DVD player these days, just a DVD player, it's that size.
Yeah, those little bitty ones.
And I'm worried. Honestly, I would take a Wii or a Nintendo that's the size of an Xbox if I could get the power of an Xbox and a Nintendo.
Well, yeah, anybody would.
Honestly,
yeah,
I
I
don't.
how big it is.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And chicks might, but
Heck, most people have entertainment systems that are big enough to house something like that.
yeah.
Heck, even on my desk, on my desk that I have my computer, I have my PC to my left, I have my big screen in front of me, my little screen to my left, my Xbox above me, my TV to my right.
Wait, your Xbox is above you?
Well, it's above my monitor on a shelf.
I see.
And then I have the Wii up there next to it. And when I get a PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 3 is going to go up there, And I have all this, like, right here, It doesn't need to be tiny.
Have either
I
of you
got
guys
space.
done anything with the PlayStation Move?
No.
I have
Oh,
to
yeah,
s-
I have. I
Yeah?
played a drawing game.
if
Drawing
Tired
game.
you out.
Oh,
if
that's
they...
terrible.
If the PlayStation Move doesn't come out with, What was that game we played with the cards and the monsters and the...
Day of Judgment. No, they already
If-
canceled that game into the
Ah,
ground.
they need another one.
Yeah, that was.
I
augmented
want
reality, and
monsters.
that
I
was
want
amazing.
monsters that pop up on my card and then I can poke them.
The 3DS is actually embracing the whole AR thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
because I have a 3DS, I've been playing with it. They have AR cards, and you can do all this stuff where it's
did you
like,
play the shooter one?
yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. But anyways, to PlayStation Move. PlayStation Move is probably as close as motion gaming can get to good, because it is very sensitive. If you just play the sports games that comes with it, you can play
Yeah, it's a lot
frisbee.
touchier.
Oh, it's a lot faster than the Kinect. The Kinect
Yep.
is so laggy that it's useless. But there's actually a lot of really fun games on the
Mhm.
move that are adult based. Like my friend John has one. It's a boxing game, and it's not cartoon. It's bloody and violent and rated M or whatever, and it's still a workout. Like it tells you your calories and everything, but you have to do. I mean, I still don't like motion gaming, but it's the closest to anything that works
Yeah.
because it's very, very, very precise. Because
Well,
you got both the
now,
visual and the.
now tell me from
So
a different viewpoint. From my viewpoint, I would prefer to pay more for, like, say, the PlayStation 4 more movement came out, and it was like, well, spend $200 on this camera, but it's a high definition 1080p, crazy, uber powerful, no lag at all, HDMI camera. That's amazing.
mhm,
And I would pay for it, dude. I would gladly pay for something that was that good.
it's decent.
I'm getting something that's really, really good. Or would you prefer to pay $50 for something that's not as good? It's like, well, it's 720 and it's USB based, so it's not that fast, but it's
I think the only
okay.
reason I would buy one or the other is if I could use it on something else. Like if I could use it as a webcam on my computer.
Yeah. Well, but
But
what I'm saying is, like, see, I'm a little more keen to spending more money for better hardware, but
mhm,
that's because I tend to have more of a
I know what you mean.
more spending money, I guess.
I'm on the same page as
You a
that too.
baller. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for
Well-
bling. I'm gonna bling up my. Well, no, but I'm saying from, like, you, Nate. You don't spend a lot of money on hardware. So would you take that same standpoint as I am, that
Well,
you'd pay more for better
I-
hardware, or?
I'd tell you if the PS4 was considerably better than Xbox 1230 or whatever, then yeah, I instead of dropping say 400 on an Xbox, I'd drop 650 on a PS3. Yeah, I would do it for hardware. But as far as a peripheral, not at all. I want my peripheral small and crappy. I want my machine to be a beast. The rest of it, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd spring for better peripherals, even if they were really good.
Mhm.
But the system, yeah, I think because if I had enough time, if I had if I had 6 months, and I knew the new system was coming out, I would just have stockpiled my money.
Well, but I mean, what if
I'm
what if
kidding.
they could promise you that the new peripheral was really, like, a legitimate peripheral? It's not a gimmick. Like, it's really gonna make gaming better. Because right now, I mean, all the moves are just gimmicks. It's all gimmicky.
If they came out with something legitimately good, yeah, I'd go for the high quality. I'd pay extra for high quality, I guess.
Yeah. So hear that, people at
Yeah.
Sony or Sony's dead, but Microsoft, and make legitimate stuff, and we'll buy it.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, this is why Sony hasn't released the next PS4. They haven't found the proprietary disc to run it on yet.
Oh,
They're gonna
really?
do Red Ray.
Red Ray.
Yeah, they're gonna make everything more expensive.
The next color spectrum. Well, I mean, that the new Xbox, it has been announced that they're using solid state drives, right?
No, I didn't know that.
That's the memory
I've
system
heard
that they're
that. I
using.
didn't know if that was true.
They're using solid state drives, which I'm not 100% sure about, because right now, what's the biggest solid state drive you can get? Like,
They're fucking expensive.
it's but it doesn't go up to a terabyte yet, right? They're still
No.
less than a terabyte, right?
250 gigs will run you like $300.
Yeah.
It's
So
about a dollar right now.
So knowing Xbox's memory prices, it's like, oh, get these 5 gigs for $600.
Oh yeah,
Look at
you'll
that.
never need more than 20 gigs.
Oh man, it's gonna be bad. And I don't know if are they doing the solid state drive just because once you
maybe
buy it
not
on your
the only
solid.
store option, I would hope.
Well, I mean, are they doing it because solid state drives really are a better means of playing games,
Actually, when you
or
say it, if I had a system, I would want a solid state drive.
yeah?
That
I mean, your loading
load
times are gonna
is
be
like the only thing you have problems with on a
yeah.
console, right?
Your loading time is gonna be like absolutely nothing.
Done.
But I'm just worried that they're doing it because it means you can't sell the game back to GameStop. And if that's the reason they're doing it, then I don't support it. And I
if that's
don't
the
think
reason
that's
they're
a good
doing
idea.
it, I support it because
Me
fuck
too.
GameStop.
Well, I mean, yeah, screw GameStop. But when you think about it, it means that they're not making it solid state for us. They're making it solid state for themselves.
Well,
Yeah,
the
but if it
thing
makes
is,
it better for us too, then cool.
But
the thing is though, if they're using a solid state drive, it can't be a full game. One full game would be more than $500 worth of solid state drive. So they're going to be using Blu-ray disc. I mean, I would think so. And that's still going to be the main game is going to be on there. And the only thing I could think, and you know when I think about it, solid state drives actually wouldn't increase the time any because you're loading it off the disc. And if you put a Blu-ray, double-sided Blu-ray, I mean a double-layered Blu-ray is 50 gigs. I mean, even on a regular hard drive, that's a lot to put on a hard drive.
Well, but that's the thing is I don't think they are because, you know, they're starting to move towards the digital marketplace. You know, making everything digital. And
I have to say also, I do not like the idea of streaming games.
actually, okay, so you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about on live, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you have a good enough internet connection, I put on my laptop that can't play anything. Like, it's got just the worst graphics card ever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I could play, like, I think I played Modern Warfare 3 on live, or I don't remember what I played. But I played it, and it looked good, and it ran without any lag at all. Like, on my computer, that shouldn't be able to handle that game
Hearing
at all.
that, Bob? You should get it.
Yeah, so on live is actually really, really, really competent as
The
far
thing,
as
though,
streaming.
I don't like the idea of being interdependent on the internet for everything. Your power, or not your power goes out. Your internet goes down, and your game console is now useless.
Hmm. You know, yeah, but think about it. I mean, more and more people are getting internet. Internet, it's not necessarily becoming cheaper, but it's becoming more reliable. And
Yeah.
as it grows, and I think as internet becomes better, it's going to be a more realistic feature. Because think about it. You know, imagine if you didn't necessarily have to have a hardcore, you know, rig in order to play good games.
Yeah.
You
Have
know?
have you heard about that, Bob?
Yeah. I heard about there's something that was bumping around. I don't know if it ever got debunked completely, but apparently it was being talked about that Valve wanted to make the Steam box.
Mm-hmm.
They are
was-
making it.
Like, I don't know if
They are. Yeah, it's
like
confirmed.
really official.
Yeah, it's
but
confirmed.
It is?
I don't know
It's
if they would
confirmed.
use that to stream at all, but
It
yeah.
looks like it.
No, well, no, it's not being streamed. It is a legitimate console that you like it accesses the internet. You download the game
Right,
onto
it's
the
a
console.
computer that basically is an
diskless.
augmented version of Steam.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just no disc drive. Just a
Well,
hard drive.
do you remember, Nate, how you were saying how consoles have the benefit of only running one or two processes at the same time, so they can
Yeah.
play more powerful games on a lesser
Mhm.
system? That's exactly what the Steam box is
Mhm.
is banking on. The fact that they can make a fairly powerful system that can run everything on a good quality,
Yeah.
but you know they don't
You
have
order
to
stuff
worry
online,
about.
it can go right parallel with Steam for computers,
Mm-hmm.
and you could probably cross-platform or whatever. Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm all for it. I want Sega to just come out of the blue, bam,
Yep.
new Sega system.
I'm still
Oh
waiting
my
for Dreamcast too.
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
No, they gotta drop that name.
Dreamcast
That was
360.
terrible.
Dreamcast 360.
The Awakening. No, they have to name it something else. They would have.
Oh,
I mean, it's not
Dreamcast
gonna
Awakening.
happen. But if they came out with like the Genesis 2,
Oh
That-
man, the
oh,
Genesis
sweet.
2.
oh my goodness,
it
It
goes
would be
back to
16-bit.
cartridges.
16-bit, dude. Yeah. No,
It-
I Sega and the
They
Dreamcast
completely make
make-
they completely make the options or the Dreamcast backwards, so it's like the nightmare. I don't
Hey,
know what's the
name-
opposite of
name
cast.
name a console, Sega's other console that wasn't as popular as the Dreamcast.
So
Don't
the
know?
Saturn 360.
Yeah.
Saturn
You know
360.
why that one tanked? And I will tell you, this is how old I am. I was like 8, right? We were in Toys R Us, and they had the Sega Saturn for $600.
They used to be so
oh
expensive.
man.
Like, it was so expensive, because that would pass right now, but that's like jumping from like, I don't know, like a Super Nintendo, which is like $100 to like $600, and you're like, is it really worth it? You know, that time was like worth it.
There was a time period where like people just didn't know what a video game was worth. Like the prices were so crazy.
down. Man, NES games sold for like $70 a pop.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And there's people that bitch about how expensive video games are these days, as if they didn't used to cost twice as much.
Yeah. Well, used games are only $5. Yeah, well, because that game sucks and it's used.
And also, fuck you, you're messing up the industry, so...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of hoping for the, well, the thing is, I think if both of them do it, you know, Sony and Microsoft do it, they need to do it at the same time and just take a stand on it, and people will freaking understand why they're doing it. And I think everyone thinks it's like, oh, they're trying to get more money, and it's like, no, you're trying
Yeah,
to
they
not-
are. Okay, first of all, everybody wants more money. Get over
Right.
it. If you're complaining about the fact that this company wants your money, then maybe you need to go learn anything about the world. Just take a break from communicating with other people and just think, because that's what the entire world is based on. Second of all, it's, you know, they're protecting an industry. You know, if you think in the long term, if they're just be fighting against GameStop now so they can protect their own industry,
Mm.
you can only benefit from that in the long term. Because whenever it's more stable and they're bringing more money in, they can charge less for their games. So then you can get new games that, you know, you're not having to go to GameStop and get a used one with a sticker stuck on your case and with a game that may or may not work. You can actually get a reliable game for cheaper.
Yeah,
So-
and I was telling John about the whole idea. It's like, it's basically, if I'm a new company and I'm getting out there and say I make a game like Sniper, the game sucked, but still, like, I'm making a game. Well, say 5 people want to buy that, but in the end, one person buys it and it gets sold back and bought again 4 times. So that company, that's a starting company, putting out something that a lot of people would kind of like to try, loses 4 out of those 5 sales because they just sell it back.
Mhm.
And
Right,
that
and if
is
talking about real
not-
numbers in like tens of thousands, that's just basically
yeah,
they lost
huge.
80% of their revenue.
So new game companies don't want to make anything new. They're just like, well, if it's in any way different than the games that are popular, or we don't like sink tons of money into it, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I mean,
this is what Valve is fighting, right? Valve with Steam and all that. They're like, no, I want to protect the industry. I want people to be able to make games and get them out there still.
yeah.
And yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
And,
the
and I
price-
mean the revolution, I guess you could call it, is coming, because the European-based corporation Game, right? They're going under. Like, they are hemorrhaging money. They are. I mean, I don't know if it's been affirmed that they are literally going out of business, but they are running the ragged edge of disaster right now. And they recently were like, you know, hey guys, or what game was it? I think it may have been Mass Effect 3. They said, you know, BioWare, or EA, I don't have enough money to pay credit, you know, for these games. So, you know, will you give me these games at a loss, and then I promise I'll pay you back, right? And you know what EA said? They said, fuck you. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not giving you these games. You've screwed us over. You've forced us to sell you these games at a lesser price by saying, you know, well, if you don't, we're not going to shelve your games, and you're not going to make any money. You know, you're ripping us off by pushing used games above, you know, real game, or above the new games. You know, they're like, we're not gonna give you anything. You know, y'all can go out of business for all we care. It's just gonna give us more money. You know,
Mhm.
we'll find other ways to sell our game. So what do? They came up with Origin. You know, they're like, we'll just sell
Yeah.
it online. You know.
Yeah, and the one thing that well, I completely lost my train of thought right there. Go ahead.
What?
Completely lost my train of thought.
Well, way to go. Train of thought derailed. But you know, so I'm excited to see brick and mortar stores go down. You know, I don't
Yeah,
like.
digital distribution is definitely the way to
GameStop.
go these days.
You know, if not if not digital distribution, you know, I mean, just getting everything off Amazon.
I remember.
know.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the great things I like about Steam is they have these little sales and stuff, and I didn't even know about Steam until you guys got me onto it. And they have little sales in, like, if the game is good or it's old or it's not that great, like the price reflects it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the big problems is if the game isn't, there's a big difference in games. Now you can tell me that okay, just say, let's say CSI, the CSI game, right?
Mhm.
When that thing came out, it was $60. You know what else was $60 when it came out? Skyrim. Skyrim has about 1,000 times more content and work put into it than CSI. What I don't like is there's the set $60 game price. If your game is a $40 game, I think it should be sold as a $40 game. And I think the only reason that everyone keeps doing the $60 thing is because, I mean, it is a stigma. When I go and I see a new game that's $30 or $50 or $40, I'm like, wow, this game sucks, you know.
Mhm.
But I think that's another sore point for a lot of gamers is I don't want to blow $60 on a game and then it just suck, you know.
Mhm.
And whenever you know that there's other games out there, I think that the sliding price scale that Steam's been doing is really, really good, and it'd be great if they could do that just straight out of the box when it's new. Charge what it's worth.
Well, and see, that's why I'm excited for the, one, digital distribution being the newest way to get games and the proprietary way to get games, because the reason like Modern Warfare 3 came out and at $60 on Steam, even though, think about it, you're not getting the disc, you're not getting the box, you're not getting any of that. There's no shipping costs, there's no overhead, there's no stocking fees, there's nothing that you should have to pay for that. The game should literally should be cheaper on Steam. The only reason it's not is because they told Steam, you have to charge $60 for this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if brick and mortar stores go down and no one buys CDs anymore and that becomes a obsolete form or delivery form of video games, I think there's a very good chance that prices are going to go down, you know? Because then we're just we're paying for the game. We're paying for the ones and zeros of the game. And it shouldn't cost $60 to get the ones and zeros of a game.
Yep.
I like
You
my
know?
physical copy.
I
like
think
them all stacked up in a shelf.
it looks nice, and it is neat, but literally I have like 20 game boxes and CDs just randomly thrown in a drawer because I have it all on Steam. I don't need the disc anymore. Why get the disc when I've already...
Hey, Bob will I confirm this, the biggest game like that, World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I put that disc in once, that's like... well, I don't need that crap.
It's so funny, like, going to the store to buy World of Warcraft. The only thing that you're buying if you ever buy a disc for World of Warcraft is a fast install.
Mm-hmm. You're buying a code.
Because it is
You're buying a box
it actually takes...
with a code in it.
Actually, I take it back. There is no fast install for World of Warcraft now.
No. But now they have the pre-download, so you just buy it, and then it automatically downloads your thing for you when you're not on your computer, and then it's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason. And plus, if you want to, like, launch... Well, the only time I play World of Warcraft again is when the new expansion comes out. I'll probably play it for a while, and then I'll get tired of it again.
Yeah. But
it's actually better to buy it digitally because you could start at midnight. When it comes, the servers open at midnight, and if you're at the store and they release it at midnight, you gotta grab it, run your ass home, stick it in your computer, load it on your computer, install it, and then by then it's like 1, and you're like, oh man.
And then all the Asians are like 50 levels ahead of you.
Oh yeah, no, they already maxed out.
you remember when Cataclysm came out, Nate, and it was like playing, like whenever it was like the next 24 hours after it came out and everybody was playing it, you would just see like, it would say like world first.
Oh,
so and so got to level, what was it?
My guildmate got for 85. My guildmate got realm first druid. The realm 85 druid or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd just be like, how did they do that?
I tried to, like, I stayed up for like, I don't know, like 20 hours, and I was just fucking tired. I'm like, I'm sleeping. I don't care that I'm 84. No one else has gotten 85 yet. Stay awake. That's fun though. I love the release of that stuff. But it's just like, oh, a week's gone. I'm done with this game.
Never playing this again.
Never again. Never again.
Well, but I mean, like, think about it. Did the Mists of Pandaria really bring such a resurgence to World of Warcraft?
The last one?
Yeah.
Or this one? Next one. The
This-
Cataclysm, yeah, a lot of people bought it and a lot of people
Yeah.
hated it.
Oh, I
Uh,
loved it.
But I can't play that game constantly, and it's not anything because of the game. It's because of the people.
Mhm.
It's like once you get to 85, you have to play politics just to progress in the band and in the the band.
The game.
The game.
Come
yes.
on, Nate.
Dude, I am
Use your
so
brain.
I took apart a freaking kid trouble.
Took apart a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, he murdered some
She
kids.
kept screaming. I'm like, shut up! I'm trying to get your organs. No, I
Wow.
took apart a
Like
kid
to
swing
harvest
set.
your organs.
Kid swing set. It was like
So
3
how-
stories. It's one of those big wooden things. Oh my god! It took like 3 hours. Almost sunburned.
Well, so if I was ever gonna edit anything out, might go
Very
ahead and
good.
edit that out. Oh man.
All right, I'm gonna change subject. Magic.
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 I'm actually sorting cards while I'm talking right now.
Nice. Dude, so
I'm the only
Bob,
one without physical cards. I feel so left out.
Dude,
man.
don't feel left out. It's a fucking money sink.
hey, you should see if you can play that game on live. That Magic game, and then Bob could play with us.
Yeah, Bob. Well, okay. So actually, speaking of on live again, I think remember how you were saying, $60 is a lot to sink in a game that I don't know is going to be any good.
Hmm.
On Live has the, you know how most games don't come out with demos anymore? On Live has the best demo system ever. Basically, they say, well, you know what? You can preview this game for 1 hour. You can play this game full version as far as you can get in 1 hour, and we'll let you play it.
Hmm.
And then you can decide if you want to buy it.
See, I love that compared to,
Yeah.
limiting how much content you can get to.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that
That's
awesome?
good.
You can literally you're like, oh well, I don't know if I want to buy this game. There's another game, and
You
you
know,
can literally play both of them for an hour and see, well, is it something
they
that
didn't
interests you?
come up with that though. It's a PlayStation thing.
Well, they didn't come up with it, but I'm saying, but they've done it for
Yeah.
every single game.
Yeah,
And
PlayStation
that's
has that on a
awesome.
lot of theirs. It's pretty cool, but you have to. Yeah, it's a really cool idea, and I like it that you're not just playing the demo. You're not just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. By the time I found out what all the buttons do, the game's over.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I do that with Steam. A Steam sale comes up with this game that I've never heard of before, and I've never seen. And I go, well, before I purchase it, why don't I go play an hour of it on Live?
Are all of them like that?
Yeah, I think so.
See, that's the problem. Like games like Sniper didn't have a demo. I think
Well,
because
some
if you played
games-
the demo, you'd realize it sucked. And you
Yeah.
wouldn't buy it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to realize that some games aren't on Live yet.
Right.
I mean, it's still pretty new. They're still getting, but most of the bigger titles are on there. Like the newest Street Fighter was on there, and like some people were worried that playing it on Live, you'd have such a latency that you wouldn't be competent. But you actually can do it. I mean, of course, it's never going to be better than sitting at your computer with a fight stick, but
Yeah, I think the big thing I don't like it is
you can do it.
it
It's
just
possible.
seems to me like OnLive is the end of game consoles.
Good.
To me.
Good.
No, I like my
I want
game
game
consoles.
I don't want a game console.
I think consoles are going to stick around.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to
For
get
a
rid of
while.
consoles. Well,
Well,
You need the system to play it. I mean, PC
Yeah.
gaming is PC gaming, but consoles, it offers a different kind of gaming.
it's not necessary. I mean, it is that, but I think the big thing that pulls people to console gaming is I have to deal with all this crap with my computer to get my games to run.
yeah.
You buy an Xbox game, it's gonna work.
You put it in, it works. Yeah, that's
You know,
exactly.
On
You don't
Live,
have-
the only thing that
controller.
On Live would be the end of would be buying like hard copies of PC games. And I mean,
Possibly,
that's already
yeah.
getting smashed by
But I'm saying
by
like
Steam.
the internet isn't going to do anything but get faster and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can already do this and they make money at it, I don't even see the point of making a physical console. Because well, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think physical consoles are always gonna be there, but I mean, imagine the Xbox 3652 is this little tiny cube, little square thing that hooks to your internet wirelessly, and then it connects to your TV wirelessly,
Mm-hmm.
and all the games come from the internet. It's all stored on a cloud, you know. I mean,
guess
that would be
so.
awesome. I think that would be great.
Yep.
You know?
So anyway, what kind of decks have you been playing lately?
Magic.
Magic. Yeah. You you took us off track, Alex.
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
Yeah, you're like, oh, speaking of Magic, I like online. No, I just made a standard deck. I think I'm actually gonna go to Friday Night Magic this month sometime. 'Cause it's a drive
Speaking of
for me.
Friday,
It's like 2 hours. Well, it's an hour there, an
yeah.
hour back.
So it's standard. So it's a standard legal. Like, what kind of deck are you playing?
I'm not playing a deck that is a top deck at all. I'm playing a spirit deck.
I have a black-white token deck that I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. It's human and spirit. So
Mine's blue-white spirit, and then I got the
got those multicolor guys that
yeah,
give 'em-
they could add the spirit. But the thing that's really fun that we're doing, like I play Magic every Saturday, every Wednesday, with the dudes from the Gaming Society, and
Mhm.
even some guys that y'all remember Trez? Did y'all know Trez? No.
I
No.
don't think so.
Anyways, well, he's kind of an oldie there, so but he comes back. He's not even going to blend. He just comes and plays Magic. So there's this other guy. But we're gonna do this thing, and we do this one game called Pentagon, and it's 5 people. And if you draw out a pentagon between the 5 people, the 2 people you're facing are your enemies, and the 2 people that sit beside you are your allies. And it changes for every person as you go around the table. And whoever defeats both their enemies wins. So it's
As if
like
Magic wasn't complicated enough to.
yeah,
be
it's a really complicated, but it's like chaos, except that you only can attack 2 people, and it gets pretty complicated. But anyway, so we're gonna do this really fun one. It's like we're gonna start doing some offshoots, some weird stuff, and we're doing this one called 5 color. And so we rolled dice to see what color. Each of us gets 1 color, and I'm making a blue deck, and so there's each person has one color, and we do a 100-card deck. It's a singleton deck, so you only have 1 copy of each card.
100-card singleton deck.
Yeah, it's commander deck basically. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done commander.
I never did commander.
Commander's like same thing. It's 100-card decks. It's only single of each card, and you have one card. Your commander. It's a legend creature, and it's already out, and you can play it at any time. And instead of going in the graveyard, it just goes back over there. So it's really easy to get out. But anyways, it's gonna be real fun because it's gonna be all 5 colors. We're each playing a single color. So I'm getting all my bitch cards
Everyone's
out, like
playing
flash
mono
fire,
stuff.
like destroy all planes. So hey, you playing white? Oh yeah, you're screwed.
It's like sideboard all your planes walk, all your mountain walk.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be nasty. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a oh no, that wouldn't apply. There's okay, so this is kind of a funny little side story. I told you that I was playing a black-green. It's basically birthing pod deck,
Mhm.
and I mean it plays really well because it runs lower undying stuff, so Young Wolf and Strangleroot Geist.
Mhm.
And then after it gets past 2, the creatures that cost like 3 and up all have like drop effects. Like for instance, I'll have this bear that his morbid effect is if he enters the battlefield after a creature died, then put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. And so the way that you do it is you keep cycling and like sacrificing your undying creatures and putting stuff down that gets morbid effects. And yeah, it's like skin render, so I'll put 3/1/1 counters when it enters the battlefield on a creature, just stuff like that. And then when it gets up to 6, it plays a Gravecrawler Worm, which is awesome because his effect is when he gets it's -2/-2 on all opponent's creatures, and while he's on the battlefield, whenever opponent's creatures die, each time a creature dies, they lose 2 life. So when you get up to 6, you drop that guy out there, you clear out the weaker creatures, and then just start really rampaging on them. But so it's a really fun deck to play, but this is just the most ridiculous thing ever. My buddy, he's playing a white deck, and there's a card, and he only had 2 of it. There's a card, and he's a 2/2 double strike protection from black and green.
Mhm.
And I think he's just a rare, but basically there's nothing in my deck that can stop him. The only thing that I have that could even mess with him, and it wouldn't win, is I have an artifact creature, like 1 or 2 artifact creatures in there. But other than that, I can't Doomblade it. I can't Tragic Slip it. I
Yeah.
can't do any green
Protection
control on it.
stuff's
All my
nasty.
creature effects don't do anything to him. So what he did was, just at the very beginning of the game, played one of those, and then like 2 turns later put an Angelic Destiny on it.
It's all huge and lift you up.
So the Angelic Destiny automatically made it a 6/6 double strike flying protection from black and green. I was like,
Wow.
is there any combination that could screw this deck over more?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's what this guy does. He has this deck, and it's pretty expensive. You know the swords? Like Swords
Oh
of
my
Feast
God.
and Famine?
Yeah.
He has every sword. He has like 2 of a couple of them. And he uses this card that's totally broken and banned, and it's called Stoneforge Mystic. Basically, it costs like 2 for a 2/2. You put it out, you search your deck for an equipment card, put it in your hand. And then her other ability is pay 2, put equipment on the field. So, you get
Yeah,
all
there's
this...
a creature like that it's like pay 1 and tap that creature to play a creature card from your hand. Like, what?
Oh yeah, Piper. No, that's my deck I played online. Oh,
Yeah.
but anyways, what he does is he gets like 5 of
For
these.
the Eldrazi shit.
He gets these 5 of these swords out, and he can attack anyone in the room because he has like protection from every color. And when he attacks, they like take 10 cards off the top of your deck and put it in your graveyard. Oh, how many cards do you have in your hand? Oh, lose that much life. Oh, you have some.
Yeah,
poison.
all those swords, like Sword of War and Peace, Sword of Peace and Famine.
Yeah, they're all like $30 cards too. Like his
Yeah.
deck is expensive. I couldn't do that, but it's fun. It's fun stuff. No, that's my deck online. I play. You get that Piper out,
And
and
then you just play an Eldrazi for like
Eldrazi,
12 the next turn.
and then the other one it's really good. This deck I'm in love with this deck online. I'm gonna make one, but it's be a polymorph deck. Polymorph is like you pay 4, 1 blue or 3 colors, 1 blue, and you destroy a creature on the field, and then you reveal cards from the top of your library until you get a creature and
yeah,
put
yeah.
that out.
That's some
Right?
more
And then
dual
there's another one
stuff.
called Vast Polymorph. You do the same thing with all of them. And I've been playing these online games against people, like 4 people are playing Chaos, like four different people, and I just have all this crap. I have all these tokens on the, like 6 tokens on the battlefield, and then I do that card, and now I've got like 4 10/10s, 3 6/6s, and an 8/8, and it's just like boosh, and they're like, oh, good game.
GG, I'm out.
It's just like that game is just like that deck. It takes so long to do what it's gonna do, but when it does, it just like bashes your face in.
No, like my buddy plays a blue and green graveyard deck, and if you know anything about that, it's just such a frustrating deck to play against because you know the card.
thing just comes back.
Well, the thing about it is you know of a card called like Nod of the Bone.
Mhm.
That one you get 2 life for every creature in your graveyard. He's got like 3 of those. He's running like multiple Wreath of Geist. Costs 1, and target creature gets +X/+X. It's an enchantment, and X is the number of creatures in your graveyard.
Not crazy.
And I got him down to 4 cards left in his graveyard or in his deck. Like he was just gonna lose if I could hold out, and he just attacked me for like 100 damage because he had like a Splinter Fright out, which is the XX trample, and X is the number of creatures in your graveyard. Puts like a Wreath of Geist on it, then hits it with an Artful Dodge, so it's unblockable. It's like he only has like 24 creatures in his graveyard, so it was, I don't know. You can get it. You can't beat that deck unless you play control, because no matter what you do, you get them down like, you only have 2 life left. They're like, I'll use Nod of the Bone to gain 40 life. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I found that was pretty cool? Thing I didn't know. You can't counter. There's like some cards, and I don't know if they're old or new. I haven't looked at all of them, but you know when you cycle a card.
Yeah.
So pay 2. So you can, and then, well, they have cycling. Well, some of the cycling doesn't affect like counter target spells.
Yeah, I have a crazy one that costs black, white, blue, and then 3, and it's
Yeah.
like, it is crazy.
But when you do that, it doesn't enter the stack. It's not a spell. It can't be countered. It can't. No one. You can't even react to it because it's not in the stack. It's not a spell.
Right.
So when you cycle, they can't do shit. Like there's some, and then people figured out this is a ridiculous card. Like I got a card that can do like 5 damage to you, and it doesn't matter if you got 5 counter spells in your hand. It doesn't matter. You can't do crap. I just do whatever I want. It's freaking epic. But
God, y'all have like completely lost me for the past 20 minutes. I'm just sitting here like drooling, like I
It's
don't
okay,
know
I
what the
set
hell
up
they're talking
easy
about.
talk.
Yeah, you knew it was gonna happen though.
You guys
Hey,
know
but,
easy.
before we
No idea.
change subjects though, I
Oh
I was
man.
following like Magic on my, for some reason it's on my Facebook feed or whatever. These people do this little funny show, and they're obviously not comedians, or obviously not actors, because they're not that great.
Mhm.
But they did a nerd show, and it was kind of funny. It was pretty good. Um, they did a Magic offshoot of their show, and they've had 4 episodes. And I have to say, a show based on playing Magic, it is pretty good. It is pretty good because I didn't think it was something you could do, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna link it to y'all. Actually, Magic the Gathering put it on their official page, links to all of it. And
Really?
they've only done 4 episodes, but apparently it's really good. I mean, it's funny. It's like trying to make a show about cucumbers or something. I mean, what the hell are you gonna do? You know, you gotta be pretty damn creative.
Yeah.
This Week in Cucumber Monthly.
So
Well,
before we
I
get off
don't.
topic, I'll tell you about
Oh, okay.
last that I've got running. I figured out this kind of technicality. There's a card called Kiln Fiend, and he is from, I think, Rise of the Eldrazi, and he's a 1/2, and he costs 2 to play, and his effect is when you play an instant or sorcery, he gets +3/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah, I know that one.
And so, let's just say that I have these 2 cards. I can't remember the name of one of them, but there's one card that costs 1 red, and it gives a creature double strike until end of turn. And then, let's say I've got Artful Dodge in my hand. So, just for 2 mana, just for paying 2 mana, he goes from being the 1/2 to being a 7/2 unblockable double strike. So 14 damage from that one creature for 2 mana that turn.
That's just crazy.
And so I'm trying to set up a deck around Kiln Fiend. I'm just gonna have to buy the individual Kiln Fiends, but it's just ridiculous because just Artful Dodge him. Now he's an unblockable 4 this turn.
So that's what made me think of that show, because there's all the people in the show have their own quirks, and there's one guy that all he does is ridiculous combos. And like all his decks are based around ridiculous combos, and like one of his combos was like he had some sort of replicating mirror. I don't know what the card is, but he put a time warp on it, so he just had like infinite turns. The other guy never had a turn. He just kept going, and then like there's
Hey,
a
Nate.
lot of them, man. There's a lot of really like one of them, he
Nate,
played
Nate, real quick.
Okay.
I'm interrupting you just for a second. I just realized Lyric is asleep, and I don't have her monitor, and it's not on. So y'all keep talking, but I'm gonna step out for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But keep talking.
But so the other one he did, he had enchantment that says, it says all creatures you can only be attacked by creatures with flying and island walk. And then he played another enchantment that says all creatures lose flying and island walk.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's this guy I play at the thing. He plays an infinite deck, and it just drives me nuts. Cause what he does, he has this creature. Every time a creature enters the field, untap him. Okay, and then what he does, he puts an enchantment on him, tap him to put a 1.
Whoa. I think I lost.
Hey, you back?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
Uh,
Anyway, so tap him to
drop
put
me.
a what?
Okay, so the enchantment on it says tap this creature to put a 1/1 Eldrazi spawn token into play. Well, a creature just came into play, so you untap that creature. And then you tap it again to make another creature. And then that makes him up tap. So he just makes infinite creature tokens and then kills me with them. Yeah.
Yep. I think the Eldrazi spawns are 0/1s though.
Or 0/1s, or no, it wasn't Eldrazi, it was something else. But they had this other thing that all creatures have haste, so he could just kill you in one turn. But I hate infinite combos.
Yeah, I have
hate that
a
deck or
I can't remember what he's called, but I have a creature that's like, his effect is he's a mythic from New Phyrexia, and it's like creatures opponents control enter the battlefield tapped, and creatures you control have haste.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that'll mess people up.
What's fun? This deck I play on the Duels of the Planewalker. I play it in multiplayer because it's completely OP. It's got so many win conditions, and that rider. I think I've told you about this. This car.
Talking about the Eldrazi one.
Oh yeah, yeah. But this
Yeah,
this blue
know that
car
one. I play
called.
it a lot.
Huh?
I play the Eldrazi one. That's like my favorite one to play on there.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah. You did play that game then?
I have it on
Wait.
Xbox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Right of Replication. That card is a game changer. If you can pay for it, it's like 4 to create a copy of a creature. I think I told you about it. And then if you pay 5, a kicker of 5, put 5 copies of the creature into play. And then like what I did, I don't know, remember if I told you all this. I think I told Alex, but
Possibly.
this we were playing Chaos and they left me alive too long. He put down a card that's like, oh, it's a 3/3 soldier. When he comes into play, put 3/1/1 tokens that are soldiers. And then all soldiers get +2/+2. And then so I copied that guy. So 5 times. So he hit the battlefield. Every time one hit the battlefield, it spitted out 3 little tokens. And then every one of them had +2/+2. Or mine +1. I don't remember the. All I remember is I had 15 tokens that were 5/5s that flew, and then there was another 5 guys that were like 7/7s, and it was just. I went from I'm gonna lose to next turn I killed all 3 other players at the same time.
Well, that's
Wow.
like the best win I've ever made. I don't know if I ever talked to you about it. The best win ever was I'm playing a black-white control deck, and I made this really weird meta kind of control deck where I'm playing shit like Pillory of the Sleepless, like enhanced control cards to try to play against this graveyard deck. And I have a card called Necromancer's Covenant, and it costs 6. It's like 2 white, a black, or 2 black and a white, and 3. And what it does is you basically exile all creature cards from your opponent's graveyard and then put copies of them, I think, or no, and for every one of those you put a 2/2 zombie onto the field, and zombies you control have lifelink. And so it's like, it's down to the point where I have like 2 health left. I'm gonna lose. Like, I only have, like, I don't have enough creatures to block his 3 creatures. I only have like 1 creature now, and I'm gonna lose. So I go to draw, I draw that card, drop it, and his creatures are like Boneyard Worm and a Splinter Fright. So when I play it, it kills the 2 of them because it empties his graveyard, and then I put down like 12 2/2 zombies with a lifelink and just beat him down. It was the only one card in
That's
my deck
great.
that could do anything against him. I just played it and just destroyed him with it.
Mhm. That's good stuff, man.
Oh,
Well,
man.
let's go back to video games so Alex feels relevant.
Yeah, I know. So I, it's just like my love life. Anyways, okay. So I actually did have something I was thinking about.
You did.
Since Minecraft, ever since Minecraft has really come out with the, the quote unquote the full version of the game, and it's not in beta anymore, and they're just doing kind of minor updates. They really don't seem to be doing any major updates. I kind of really haven't felt the need to play the game anymore. I just haven't picked it up. I kind of want to get back into it, but the only reason I've ever gotten back into it is because of the Technic Pack, which has added a butt ton of new things to play on it. So it's made it relevant again. But tell me if you think if a game came out and it was fairly bare bones when it came out, but it was enjoyable, and then every few months or so they added a major update. Like, they added a bunch of content, some new mechanics, and new things that literally revamped the game. Do you think that that would ever be a good, model for releasing a game? Do you
Well,
think that would help
I did play this
extend the
game
life
one
of the
time.
game?
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. This game is called World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do this. That's what they do it. They do the same thing. They give you free content patches every couple months. So if you play World of Warcraft, like Cataclysm had Deathwing, right? But
Mhm.
you weren't able to kill Deathwing until about 2 months ago. Even though
Right,
that
there
game's
was a
out
lot
for
of
a
patches
year.
before you could kill
Yeah.
Deathwing.
So they give you a patch, and then when everybody kind of finishes it or done it, then they give you another patch. They're about every 4
And
months.
they give you more dungeons and more raids and more
More-
loot
yeah.
and more. They
So
put
they-
in new mechanics and.
They give you kind of like pay for the expansion, you get free updates to a certain point. But another one that does it better is like Guild Wars, from what I hear. is they do like a monthly update, and because their game is solely based on you buying it and not a subscription model, they just give you update and update. I
Yeah,
like it.
Force is good.
I like it when they do that. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I
But
wish Minecraft didn't destroy my computer because of its poorly written.
I know. It's so funny because they keep updating. They're like, oh, look, we updated the AI and made all these changes. Like, well, why don't you just move it to a code that works better?
Yeah, why don't you move it out of Java?
Ah.
Why don't you have it install on your computer instead of just being an exe file? on
not
your
just like,
desktop?
no, it works right.
I mean, it's so funny because like Minecraft just like completely shits a brick on whenever Nate plays it. Cause I mean, I'm playing it on my little 23-inch monitor. I mean, little 23-inch monitor. My 23-inch monitor, and it works fine. It uses up most of my CPU. But Nate is playing it on like a 46-inch or like 52-inch TV. The thing is massive. It just
This shit's a brick. I mean, it's like it boggles the mind. Like the guy had a really good idea, but the problem with it, he needs to learn some basic programming, because if I'm looking at a mountain made of blocks, you don't need to be drawing all those blocks in the center of the mountain that I can't see. And that's exactly what Minecraft does. It's like, oh, is there blocks there? Yeah, draw all of them. You just can't see them, but the computer's still making them.
It makes me think of like the Oblivion stuff that would happen whenever you would dupe an object, so you could like duplicate all these objects that have individual physics and animations, and your game would go. Because it's like, I'm gonna make 1,000 watermelons, and all the watermelons start bouncing off of each other, and the next thing you know, your Xbox is red ringed.
They're stacking vehicle mines in a big pile while someone's sitting on top of them in a mongoose.
Your frame rate drops from like 60 frames a second to 4 frames a
Okay,
second.
don't move. Don't move, you're gonna set them off. Don't move. Okay, wait, I'm gonna shoot with a rocket.
But you can do like stand in the middle of them, like throw them all around you, and then jump, because it'll just propel you to the skybox.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were playing that game, that Dwarves on Dwarves, where we had indestructible vehicles...
Talking about Halo 3 now, just so you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Halo
I know,
3
I
guys.
know.
It was Dwarves and Dwarves, so we're going 300% speed on the zombies, and they have hammers. And indestructible vehicles, and everybody gets in the vehicles and ride in circles.
That was the craziest game ever.
That was, and I didn't make it, but I wish I did. But anyways, we hit it. When you hit people, and there's those, those big like towers on either end of Sandtrap.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you guys were playing when we were. One dude, the car is indestructible. It flies sideways, right? So the person is in the car sideways, flying across the map, and when he hits that wall, just because it's hitting the top of the car, insta-death, just splatter. And it doesn't make sense because the car is indestructible, but somehow you just instantly died.
I love those little technicalities in Halo 3 where it was like two people that had like plus 200% speed that would run into each other head on could die, and splatter each other.
Yeah, like when you got splattered by the cars, it wasn't usually because they hit you, it's because you ran into it.
Yeah.
You could run into the side
It's
of the
like
car.
if you bumped into the car while you were running that fast, you just kind of like technically die.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Man, I spent more time in Forge than any other part of that
Oh
game.
man.
well, and
There's
and
just
that's
so many weird technicalities. Like, I'm gonna make a trampoline, so all it is just a bunch of teleporters pointing in specific directions so that you can bounce on it like a trampoline.
It's like, wait, I got this idea, and then like it's like 4 in the morning, we're all staring at the screen. What are you doing over there? Oh, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Damn, it didn't work after like an hour. So many times it's been like 5 in the morning. We've just been dicking around on Forge.
I can tell you how many times it's been like, hey, you see where that warthog is? Yeah, I bet you don't know how I put it there.
I remember, hey Bob, was it you when we spent like or it might have been Alex. It was one of you. I'm pretty sure. We spent like 5 hours flipping the elephant.
I'm pretty sure that was
Yes.
me.
That was.
no, I think we were both there.
Yeah.
I do remember that. We were trying to put stuff underneath it,
Yeah.
trying to explode it.
Were you there when we were putting stuff on? Because we were like, he would like I remember this because you would hold it up and I would like ram cars all up under it. We were trying to,
I love that though.
And then
Like, press X
we
to
tried to
wait.
like spawn.
Do
We
that.
tried to spawn vehicles underneath the Like you'd blow it up and it'd kind of lean forward, and you'd try to get like a tank underneath it or something.
Yeah, we spent hours before we realized you could just put a tank inside of it and lift the whole thing.
Remember one time I was actually playing a legit multiplayer game online on Sandtrap, and we had 2 people driving elephants, and like nobody was in the elephants except the drivers, and we were just like, you know that point right in the middle of the map where it's like that dip? There was like one person, I was driving one, and the other person was driving the other one, and we had a head-on collision, and my elephant ended up on top of his elephant. And so there was a double-decker elephant driving around.
It's freaking awesome. There was a map, and it was like a hack, but I never got it, where there was just this elephant like hundreds of feet in the air, like freaking the hell out, because it had all these explosions inside of it.
Oh, I love doing that because you could get it, you had to really work with it, but if you could get it to keep spawning, like the spawn points on the elephant wouldn't go away whenever it was moving. The spawn points stayed the same, so you'd spawn a ton of fusion coils on the inside of it and stuff. And so like it'd be flying through the air because it got like the initial explosion would like rocket forward a little bit, and then they'd spawn again, and then it'd rocket more, and then they'd spawn again and blow up and rocket even more. So eventually it'd be up in the air, and every time they spawned, it would propel it harder. So it just became this like asteroid that would come flying down and smash people.
Wow. No, I mean that's. I really like those games that definitely give you like the sandbox. You know, they give you the ability to do whatever the hell you want. Because then people just come up with the most ridiculous things, you know? Like, they did it in Forge, they did it in, you know, in Halo 3. They've done it in Minecraft. I mean, have you seen some of the ridiculous things people do in Minecraft? You know? I kind of wish game developers put a little more work and a little more faith in their games to give gamers and people who play the games the freedom to do whatever the hell they want with their game. You know, they're so afraid because they're like, oh, well, I don't want to give you free access to my game because then you're going to find out on all the little shortcuts I took to make the game. Well, if you don't want us finding it, just don't make the shortcuts. You know?
I was really impressed with the fact that you could be doing stuff in Forge you're not supposed to, like making infinite respawning instant explosions, and your Xbox would not die.
Yeah.
Like, that game had to be
that was
incredibly
actually pretty
coding.
impressive.
Yeah, like, good job. Because my Xbox, I mean, I'm not even talking about once. I'm like, hey, we've been throwing mines in this pile for like 10 minutes, and I'm going down to like 2 frames a second, but my Xbox is still chugging it.
Because they all have a little glow animation.
Yeah, they're like, they make that noise.
But you get too many close to each other, it's like.
Well, it's kind of like when in Minecraft when we blew up the map.
Yeah. So we gotta show you that, Bob. We did this whole map and then we blew it up. I mean, with like a lot.
That's not a
of
spoiler,
TNT.
is it? Is that a spoiler? Do I have to edit this out?
You haven't put it on yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't gotten all the way
Put
through.
that on and then put this on.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
I
We
still
haven't. We're
wanna
not.
see
We're not
it.
even halfway through it. We're not even halfway through the map yet on YouTube.
Okay, never mind.
Is it a spoiler? No, it's not a spoiler. I don't think so.
Not a spoiler, no.
It's not a spoiler.
But anyways, we do the whole story, which is actually pretty good. I really liked it. It was like a whole story thing. But then we blew it up, and so dude, Bob, we had like thousands of TNT, and they were all chain linked, and thousands is
amazing.
a low number, like probably
Oh, man.
5,000. Anyways, so as soon as it blew up, like I got kicked.
He got kicked from the
like,
server.
immediately.
I dropped down to 1 frame per second. My screen just went black for like 5
Yeah.
seconds, and I'm sitting there like, did it crash? Did it crash? Did it crash? And then when the screen finally comes back up, you'll see the castle, and I'm like, oh man, the castle's still there. And then slowly the game starts to catch up, and it just like starts disappearing chunk by chunk by chunk, and then it's just this void.
Like, yeah, and it wasn't even like I got kicked from the internet. I was still talking on Skype when we were recording.
It just
and
kicked
it
him from my
blue screened
Minecraft
me.
server.
I saw some smoke because I was like, if you
He was
could-
standing on the top of
I
like
was the
50,
clusterfuck point,
60
basically.
blocks of TNT.
Yeah, and we were like invincible, so we had all these creepers, and they were gonna blow up when I hit them. And it was really funny because the video I got, I'm standing there, and the creepers just come up and stare at me. Because they can't actually like blow up or attack me, but they're all like and they're like walking up next to me, like
Yeah,
humping
when
me.
you're
I'm
in
like, "Oh
God
my God."
mode, they don't aggro on you unless you hit them.
And they're all freaking on me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bust this fool in the face, and this thing's gonna blow up. And I was just like standing on an entire room made out of like dynamite, and then it was like smoke, and then the whole screen was like black and white smoke, like one frame of it, and then it's like you have lost connection.
And it was awesome because
Uh,
I had my server monitor on my other screen. It was just like, oh man, did something major happen on the server or is it just lagging? I'm like, no, we just like blew up the map. I think that's a major change. I don't know about you, but
there's a game, I don't know if either of you have played it. It's called like Castle Miner Z on Xbox. And at first whenever I started playing it, I was like, this is retarded, it's not fun. But then what makes it fun is you're in this world, okay, and you start out and there's just this really tall tower, and then you just venture away from the tower. And depending on how far you go, the climate changes.
Mhm.
And then there's like you can make tools, like as you're playing the game, you can do all kinds of stuff and make different tools, but you make guns, and it's like, it kind of functions as a first-person shooter.
Mhm.
Not, well, it functions. And so what happened, I was playing with like two other people, and we would just go on a journey. So it was like we start there, and it would go from day to night, and at night you had to make shelters because the zombies would come out. So like during the night we'd be like, crap, tunnel down underground and make an underground bunker. And you just like hear the zombies raging above ground, and we'd have to like watch out for them spawning inside of our bunker and stuff. And then whenever it was daytime again, we'd climb out and then venture on. And so you'd go from like the grass to the desert to the mountains to like the snowy wastelands and stuff. But then eventually we just reached the edge of the world and it dropped off, and we were like, but you could go there. Like you could fall off the world there. And at the bottom you could see like lava. And so we're like, screw it, we're gonna beat this. So like we found a way to get all the way down there, like tunnel all the way down to where we saw that, and then we just like traversed this hell area that was just nothing but tons and tons and tons of zombies coming after us. And so like we managed to get through there was like, there's an option to spawn to a person. So like if one of us died, then the other person would go on for a while until they said it was safe, then I would spawn to them and so on. And the only way you could do it is like have a really powerful sword and just run backwards through this place swinging. And like it looked like it didn't have an end. But then eventually, after we traversed for like an hour through this crazy stuff, we hit another wall. Like we hit a wall like the one that we went down in the first place. And then we like went in there and climbed upward, like made a gigantic tunnel going up, and managed to get back to the surface and traveled all the way through all of those different terrains again back to a second tower. And it took us like a total of like 6 hours.
That's crazy.
But it was just like, we got to that point where we're like, oh my god, there's like a hell dimension down there, we have to go. And then when we got to the end of it, it was like a mirror image of what we had already gone through. We're like, what's at the end of this? But we ended up dying once we got to that tower though.
What is that? What you're supposed to do in that game, or is it just like Minecraft?
I don't know if that's really what you're supposed to do, but that's how we played it, and it was pretty fun.
That's pretty damn cool. I have to say the only game I screwed around in, like the second place after Halo 3, would be the first Saints Row. Because that game, once you knew little cheats to put in your cell phone, like the physics of that game was so much fun. I do this thing
Oh
where
man.
you die and you go to the emergency room, and the emergency room was right next to the little thing you got on the train. So we'd run up the train, spawn the rocket launcher, and then you could see which way the train was coming and it would stop, right? It would stop right there. You get in front of it, and I'd run along the track in front of it and get real far, and then wait till it was coming at me. And when it was coming at me, me and my brother would try to shoot the bottom of the train wheels with a rocket launcher so that the train would fly over us. Like, it worked once, but it didn't work like 500 times. But it was so much fun because when the thing would fall off, you could like blow it off of there with the rocket launcher. And we would try to like like we got inside of the train, because if you blew the windows out, you could get in it. And then we would use grenades and stuff to blow the train off while we're in it. It's just the physics of that game were just amazing. They're not amazing, but the ragdoll physics were like, they're great.
Have you ever seen the video where somebody cranked up the physics on GTA 4 on the PC? And so like the wheel physics, you say you have?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh man. So like the video is like what they do is they just turn up the friction on all the wheels. So it's like plus 200% friction. So whenever anybody like accelerates their car, it actually just takes off at like 100 miles an hour. But they like the AI can't control the car going that fast, so they run into stuff because the car doesn't have the turning to handle it.
Yes.
But that's for every car in the game. So you're in a city where every single person driving a car is like driving like a maniac, and their car can't be controlled. So it's
Literally
just
like the speed of light.
So the name of the video is Carmageddon. It was just like mass insanity of cars just flying at like 200 miles an hour and just slamming into buildings and like killing people.
That is great. I want to see that.
And then someone put on negative, so anytime someone started to drive their car would like start doing like, it would speed backwards really fast, but whenever someone started driving backwards, they would try to turn around. So all the cars were like flipping and like spinning out really fast and crashing into stuff backwards. It was the funniest. I laughed so hard at that video. But yeah, go on YouTube and look for Carmageddon or Carpocalypse.
Again. I need to get Saints Row 3 because the first one I think I beat it once, but like 90% of the time I was playing that game, I wasn't playing it. I was like killing people or my favorite is when I broke the damn insurance fraud where you're supposed to jump in front of a car, get more points if it's a police car or ambulance. I just figured out you could just get in the ambulance, run into a wall at like 80 miles an hour and fly through the windshield, and then you'll get sued. And it would max out. It would go to like 28 million. Oh, that game was great.
Yeah, Saints Row 3 definitely was amazing. It's such a good game. I mean, it has its issues. It has its issues, but as far as an over-the-top, just you want to do stupid things. You know, that's what that game is all about.
It's like all bets are off when they incorporated invincibility into the game, not as a cheat, but just as a part of the game.
Yeah, you can reach invincibility, infinite ammo.
No,
you know,
no reloads.
No reloads.
That's
oh,
good.
Man.
Well, have y'all ever seen this episode of Family Guy where he's sitting on the couch with Lois's dad, and he's got this box full of grenades? He's like, let me get my thinking grenades. And he gets this box full of grenades, and he starts chunking them out the window. And he goes, boom, throws it out the window, boom. Have y'all seen that one?
Yes, I've seen the clip, yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, they took clips, and I'm pretty positive I was off of Saints Row, because the first time he throws it, it's a woman's cry going, ah! You know, she's screaming. And then he throws the next one, and this guy goes, what's happening? And that was happening guy was in Saints Row 1, and I loved it. He was like a nerdy guy, and he'd be like, what's happening? Oh my god, what's happening?
Wow.
That'd be like when I have pipe bombs and I'm just spinning in circles, like chunking them like infinite pipe bomb. Goosh, goosh, goosh. What's happening? Oh my god! No. And the other guy was, oh my god!
Well, no, I love the. Did you pick the Luda the fist apocalypse fist of the apocalypse?
I didn't finish.
Or the apocalypse. If in one of the options where you're fighting Killbane, you can either choose to take his mask and you get his mask. That's your reward. Or you learn the secret of the Apocalypse and you get these giant like plastic fists that when you punch someone they explode. They just like explode into this little fountain of blood and gore. And it's like, wow, okay, so I get a mask or I get something that makes people explode.
If you punch a car.
The car explodes. And it's funny because you'll walk up and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna punch this car. You punch the car and it explodes and then it kills you. Because you're like right in front of the explosions. You just die. But it's amazing. You can punch anything and it explodes. Like you can punch tanks and people and it... Or like if you punch... Like if you're playing multiplayer and you punch each other, you instantly die. So it's just like the most amazing trolling weapon ever. You know, your friend's walking by, he's doing missions, you just walk up and one punch, kill him. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Stuff. And you think of all the stuff they get away with now when I'm old, but when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out,
Everyone's like, "Oh my
oh,
god!"
it was a huge thing, and I bought that. That's the first game I bought right then. It was great. You ever seen the animations? You ever played that game?
Uh huh.
Like, you can shoot someone's leg off, and what they would do, it would come off at the knee, and then they would hop around on the other leg, screaming, and then they'd die. And then the other one that was really bad is, if you got a headshot, their head would come completely off, and a fountain of blood would squirt out of their neck.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
It was.
But that game
Well-
was really irritating because it's like, okay, do this mission. This could take you 5 minutes, and if you touch another car with your car, then the cops are gonna kill you. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, what I love about Saints Row 3 is, it's like, oh yeah, you remember hot coffee? No, we did that stuff on purpose. like one of the levels or one of the missions, you know, you're in your apartment, and there's like hookers, scantily clad, you know, barely wearing any clothing, and it's like doing, you know, zoom panning shots on them. Dude, I was playing it downstairs, and like my family was all around, and I almost like turned off my monitor. I was like, holy crap. I'm like watching a porno on my on my game. I was like, dude.
I tell you, when I
Thinking away with
modded
things.
my PS2, I got all the emulated games, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was like 5 porn games on that Super Nintendo. They were terrible. The one was called Rape Games.
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't really rape, but it was really nasty. It was like, smack the chick with a whip to get her aroused. I'm like, okay.
You proceed a whip crack.
So
Wow.
stupid. It was...
Sounds like Newgrounds.
Oh god. That's terrible.
They-
Well,
I told you my idea for the 64, right?
no.
Well, think about what we just talked about, and think about a rumble pack, and then think about an accessory for an adult game.
Wow.
Wow, way to just ruin my childhood.
Still,
Now I'm
man,
just thinking of like the 3-prong controller and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
never
a-
gonna be able to pick up that controller again. I'm gonna have to go wash
64.
it. I'm gonna go.
Dildo
Oh no. Oh.
Get in the game.
Is it in you?
Yeah.
Is it you?
It's like, how do you press the buttons though?
I don't even know. I want to know what that game would be called.
The penetrator.
To do.
Oh,
He's
God.
talking about is it in you? But like, you know the Gatorade commercials.
Hmm.
Is it in you? Why hasn't anyone done like he drinks it? You know it's always all yellow or purple or whatever.
Mhm.
Just piss it out. Not anymore. Ugh.
Because it's cheap joke, cheap joke. Well, actually, remember how you were saying that you wanted to do a series about us watching stupid commercials and making fun of them?
Yeah.
Have you seen the newest Gatorade commercial that came out?
I
The
don't
one,
watch much
the
TV
soccer.
anymore.
Okay, so basically, it's this women's soccer, and it goes, it's like really intense on this sweaty, like crazy soccer chick, and it goes, you can see it when when she's weak, and it shows this other girl like tired, and she's like, and it's like she doesn't have it in her or whatever, and she's like, and
You have to
water's
put it
not
in
gonna,
her.
no, hold on, it's like, and water's not gonna do it, and she's weak, and she's easy to beat and easy to break, and I'm like, oh my god, this girl is gonna
I
like
know what
jump
you're
and
talking
she's gonna
about.
like jump up and like rape her or something. Or like
It's like
murder
she
her.
needs it in her, even
And
if
then
she
it's like
doesn't want it.
she drinks
it sounds
Gatorade.
Like really like rapey, angry lesbian shit. Yeah,
And then
I
she
know
like
what
she
you're
drinks Gatorade and then like scores a goal, and then it's like Gatorade. I was like, whoa, what?
Gatorade.
Dude, I totally thought this was like,
Gatorade, no means yes.
No,
Oh, man.
what is this
It's terrible.
commercial?
it's just awful.
It's like Chevy or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Chevy rocks you from the first time to the last time. I'm like, no, it wasn't Chevy rocks. It was. I was like, that wording is not.
But you know what? You know what, guys? We're we're talking about videos. We breached the YouTube
Yeah,
the
actually we
YouTube
did. We talked
barrier.
about
We
YouTube.
skimmed
talked
across
about
the surface
YouTube.
a little bit, but now we're there.
Now we're there. We've done it. That's it.
That's the end of
That's
it.
it. I'm calling it. You know,
Gotta
I'm
go
calling
to
it.
Google Plus now.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Actually, we could go Google Plus and start filming and doing the other show.
Yeah, you do that. Film us watching stuff.
That'd be great.
You could just
That'd be great.
Alright.
Well, no, 'cause like, well, no, 'cause I think I've run out of stuff to say. Oh man, I'm done. And then I've got Lyric over here. She's sleeping in my arms right now 'cause she woke up. So I'm gonna go put her back to bed. And get this. So okay. So let's close it up. Let's close it up with our format 'cause we really stuck to that very well.
Oh yeah.
Yay, organization. Okay, so I guess what's going on for you in the next week, Bob? I know that we don't have individual channels, so it's not like we're doing anything. But any new gaming stuff going on for you? Any, looking to buy anything or play anything? Excited about anything?
You know what I'm excited about is a possible party that may or may not go down later this year.
Oh yes, we're still
Where?
still figuring it out. Still
That'd be
figuring it
cool.
out.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, certain beverages and Mario Party 9.
It is okay. So the tentative date, as of so far, is the third weekend of June. So it's not the first weekend, because the first weekend's like the second or third, but it's gonna be the third weekend of June, and we're gonna start on Friday and possibly end Monday.
We're
So
gonna party like Charlie Sheen if you played video
oh
games.
yes. So
Good.
any of the listeners, which we don't have any actually, so I
Yeah.
don't have any qualms of saying this. Feel free to message us if you want to join in the shenanigans that will most surely be going down.
Even that kid in Norway, or where was he at?
Holland, my cousins. Yeah, I found out it was my cousins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my cousins from Holland are watching it. I was like, dude, what is this? It's just my cousins.
So yeah, I want to play. I'm thinking Mario Party is gonna have to be like a default for
Mario
Yeah.
Party,
at least one game of Mario
Halo,
Party.
We play the 64 version where you could destroy your controllers.
YouTube.
Let's go get some N64s.
We're gonna play YouTube.
We'll save that for late. But yeah, I was thinking like most definitely we should find a way to record us playing Mario Party.
Yeah, we can do it. Well, hopefully by then I'll have the HD PVR.
Mm-hmm.
So
Other than that, I just now, because I can't believe I didn't have it yet, I got the Buffy complete series. Because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is like one of my favorite shows ever.
There wasn't Seth Green in that?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that forever.
Vampire.
Oh man, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched it back when I was in high school.
I
and
never
didn't
watched it.
I didn't have much of an appreciation for stuff like that. I was just like, oh, this is entertaining and all. But I didn't know anything about Joss Whedon. But like, Alex, you introduced me to Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog.
Mm-hmm.
That's Joss Whedon. And
Mhm.
there's actually a musical episode of Buffy in season 6 that's awesome like that. But imagine if Dr. Horrible was a show and you had all these established characters and then all of a sudden they were singing in an episode and they were singing well. It's crazy. But it was like I never really appreciated Buffy for what it was, but I've been watching all of it. I'm on season 7 now using Netflix, and man, it's just like such a great show.
For some reason, I have this impression of Buffy that it's this really silly, like, stupid show.
Okay, so it's silly on some levels, and then on other levels, it's just really serious and really dark, like dealing
Now,
with
is it...
subjects as black magic and rape and...
No. Is it as serious as Supernatural gets? Like, Supernatural serious, or...
I haven't seen Supernatural, but I would say
Yeah.
it's probably more serious than Supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is. If it's anything else more, I guess.
Because, I mean, Buffy,
Like, very serious with not as good actors, so it makes it less serious.
God, I
It's still
love
serious.
Supernatural. Holy crap.
like, season 6 of Buffy takes such a harsh turn towards the dark that it's just like, all the characters are just, one person
Zombies.
gets really deep into black magic and like, they basically lose themselves and they're doing all these spells and hurting all the people around them, and like all the the character progression is what really makes Buffy really good, because it's actually legit character progression that you don't see normally. So the characters are actually changing and their relationships are actually changing throughout the episodes, and like in a way that is lasting and actually means something if you think about it.
Yeah.
And so you have like character X is obsessed with character Y, and they're just completely crazy about them, and they don't understand morals as well as everybody else because they don't have a soul, blah blah blah. So then on this episode, they just like,
because they're a ginger.
and they like on this episode
Where
they
did that
try
go
to,
from?
so it's like
Bastard Alec.
actually goes into the goes into topics like, oh, this character tried to rape this other character. What does that mean to everybody? And it actually like goes down
Good
that road.
stuff. Netflix is great for like series kind of shows.
Yeah.
You just watch
Wow.
a show. 6 seasons. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, Bob. I expect
I
a
really
full.
have to pee. Badly.
I expect a full report on Buffy at the end of the week. Okay, so Nate, what's going on with you? Anything?
I gotta pee.
That's what he's doing. There's gonna be videos of him peeing.
Oh God, I hope not.
I have commentary. All that kind
Okay,
of stuff.
so I got some stuff. I got Darkest of Days that I'm gonna be playing and hopefully doing a video of. I have Devil May Cry 4, which I'm just gonna play. I'm not gonna do a video of it because I don't know if it's any good or not. Let's see, what else do I got in my drawer of games that are unopened? Red Orchestra I'm gonna play. I just purchased Bulletstorm. I may or may not do a video over Burnout, because I don't know if I can play the music in Burnout, because it's like
Oh,
actual music, but
EA
it's
would
still
be like, hey, guess what? No.
yeah, but it's still it's in-game music, so I don't know.
Fair use.
I haven't figured it out yet, because I just don't know
Well-
if it'd be any fun if it's just race car and me.
Yeah, just turn the music low. It's fair use.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. Other than that, I'm gonna try to get the posting schedule back up, and get
And
that
I
back
think that
on.
we should start this new. We'll have to be talking about starting this watching YouTube channel because I think that'd be great.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We have to get that going, and then Bob is gonna get a PC so we can actually do something.
Or get online.
So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Maybe
Well,
if
actually, I
have
don't
it
know.
live, I can't make videos with this laptop. It's not reliable enough.
Well, I don't
You
know.
could play it with us though.
Is
Oh, I guess
on
you
live cross compatible or
could.
not
I
cross
don't know, I
compatible?
just
But
thought
is it cross platform?
no
Oh.
idea. Probably not. Actually, they probably just want to promote themselves. It should.
I have no idea. So I don't know. We'll see.
We need to play some stuff on Xbox together, Alex.
I've
I have that.
invited you to play Modern Warfare 3 with me, and you don't.
I
ever
don't
do
have
it.
Modern Warfare 3. I've never played any Call of Duty game. for the platform.
I didn't know you didn't have it. We'll play Reach, because that's the only game I have.
Yeah, we can
For
just make stuff
Xbox.
on Reach.
Yes.
And then put it in Call of Duty. Oh
And
my
then we'll make
God.
Call of Duty
How much
5.
of an aneurysm would you have if you're just shooting people on Call of Duty and then like a warthog comes out of the middle of nowhere, it's like Master Chief, and you're like, oh
Like
man,
Forge
I'm
mode on Call of Duty 5.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just gonna merge anyways.
Call
That's
of
it.
Halo 6.
Halo 6.
Call of Duty.
4.
Call of Halo.
Call of Halo. World of Warfare.
7.
Now, I would kill stuff if there was a World of War.
World
They
at
had it.
Warfare.
Yeah,
World
World
of Warfare.
a MMO
Oh,
that was
God.
Call of Duty. Yeah, I think I would just sell my car because I wouldn't leave my house.
I want one game to come up with a game mode that is like 600 v 600 24-hour battle. Yes.
Warcraft.
How awesome would that be? But it's a first-person shooter with
Depending on how you
tanks
wanna play
and
World of Warcraft, it's
planes.
practically like that.
yeah, but no magic and no nerds eating.
Okay, let's wrap it
pizza
up. 'Cause I
pockets.
really
Did you
got.
just say no magic and no nerds?
Yes, none. None.
It's the GTFO moment. You're on Nerd Hub Radio right now.
I know. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Screw you guys. Okay. All right. This is crap. Go like us on Facebook at thenerdhubradio.com/Facebook.
Send your money to me.
We have a PayPal account. Donate. Send us money. Send us games. Send us stuff. Here's Bob's address.
If there's $5 on that account within the month, I will record an entire hour of me singing Queen songs. Okay, guys? That is the
It's like,
challenge.
I'll make a video of me spending that $5.
But if you haven't seen it, YouTube, the drunk
Dude.
dude in the back of the card sings the entire Bohemian Rhapsody.
No.
Dude,
Dude, do you know how much...
The entire... That song is like 7 minutes long.
Do you know how much
we
stuff...
gotta go to Google Plus after this.
Do you know how much stuff... Do you know how much stuff Nate could buy at King Dollar with $5?
Probably
Like-
5 stuff.
Hey, depends on how much I steal.
Get those King Ever batteries that last King Ever.
Look at that. You never
Yeah,
man. You get an 8-pack because 2 last like... No, they don't last.
Who has like King Ever, man?
The King Ever. Dude,
I remember that. How long did they last? That's King Ever.
I bought the things out. Like, why get 2 Energizers when I can get 12 King Evers for $1?
And they lasted like 2 hours with an Xbox
It's like-
controller.
Nate, you are the only reason King Ever batteries are still in business.
Hell yeah. Man. I don't care that every time I go to level, I gotta put new batteries in my controller.
Nathan's house was like the place where you could go find weird, cheap things. It was like...
Hell yeah.
Remember
But you
his
did
drawer
have
had
McDonald's
like...
pizza.
His drawer had like 6 packs of 64 King Ever batteries. There was like 500 batteries in that drawer.
King Ever, man.
Oh
That's
my
like one of those
god.
China names that, like, if they could speak English, they'd be like, that's a terrible name for batteries.
If they could
Like,
speak English,
king
they'd
is
have
not
to-
an adjective, it's an ever. Like, forever, really long time.
It's brought to you by King Ever batteries.
King Ever! They're storming the castle.
You shame for spray. Oh god. Okay. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on oh my god.
You said it
Subscribe
right
to us
over-
on YouTube at thenerdhubradio.com
Remember, I'll sing Queen.
or
$5.
whatever. Yeah.
Do a Kickstarter.
Yeah, we'll do a Kickstarter. We should. We really should. Email us at nerdhubradio@gmail.com.
First $800 goes towards a nice PC for Bob so he can make stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We should. I'm gonna do it like right after this. I'm really gonna do it. I swear. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I'm going to bed.
It's actually hard Kickstarter. That's a project.
Yeah, it is. Let's see what else is going on.
I gotta pee.
He's gotta pee. I think that's it. I think I tagged everything. Oh, if you are a Nerd Hub Radio fan, put as your clan tag TNHR. I want to see tons of people with this clan tag. Seriously.
Your clan tag in what?
Clan tag and everything. Anything that has a
That's
clan
racist.
tag. You know what? Go to the place where you go and change names and seriously put a clan tag in front of your name.
It's like
legally-
gamer tag. It's like
Legally have a clan tag.
TNHR Bob.
Remember
Oh,
that
man.
shit?
What?
Dude, shit, every time I signed into Halo for like a year, like I'd get on that mic and I'd just be like, Nada butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Nada butter is the best name ever. I'm
Well, he's
sorry.
actually Chopper Dave right now. You're Chopper Dave.
Yeah, Chopper Dave is my TSN.
Nutter Butter B is actually in debt to Microsoft, a couple $100.
Oh, yeah, fuck them. I think no, Nutter Butter 8 is. Nutter Butter B is cool. Nutter Butter 8 owes Microsoft like $80.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, they can go second. So
Yeah.
I think Bill Gates is pretty good.
Okay. Okay, we're done. We're
Alright.
done. Good night, people.
Night.
This stuff is.
Assuming you're listening at
is
night.
over. Well, it's. Shut up.
Shut
Shut up.
People, no one listening. Are you really talking?
I don't know. The 3 views on our last one says they are.
If my laptop bursts into flames in a forest and no one's around to stop the fire, I don't know.
Does Smokey the Bear get pissed off at you?
Let's still ask you if you want to report the error.
The paperclip still bug me.
Hey, you want to report this error? It's not gonna do shit. Go ahead. Yeah, like when has Windows ever like responded to you? Hey, guess what? We found out what your problem is.
You bought a Windows.
Oh, we figured it
Turns
out.
out
No,
we
it's
suck.
always like,
New.
would you like to report this? And you're like, yeah, report it. And then it just disappears. Never comes back. What the fuck is the
It's got like
forest?
a portable black hole over the Microsoft offices for all the fucking reports they get.
There's probably one guy working it, and they're just all coming. Man, can't delete them fast enough.
That's an entry-level position. Responding to all those things.
By responding, you just respond to the situation by getting rid of them.
You just
big
delete,
old
delete, you just
delete
hit the key.
That's the only key on his keyboard is delete.
It's just one big key.
Okay, we just stop.
The
We
size
just
of a
stop.
sandwich.
This is bad. Things. It's devolved into giggling. We went past
He hits it with
YouTube,
both fists,
and
you know,
now
at
we're
the same
giggling.
time.
It's.
Yeah.
Do you remember? God, do you remember at the end of the gaming weekends, it'd just be us giggling at things.
Yeah.
Like no one's talking, we're just
That's because
laughing
we're all
and
so exhausted, but we can't sleep because we're over at Nate's house, so
And
we're
then-
just retarded.
and then I'm sitting on the couch falling asleep and talking to people who aren't talking.
Oh, yeah.
You totally when you were going out. You would
Dude,
just
I remember you would
fucking
talk in your
nonsense.
sleep, or you would talk in your half sleep, and it would just be like, what the
Where's
fuck's going on?
where's the thing, man? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I look back and you're like,
I remember because like I'd fall asleep and I'd be dreaming of literally what we were doing, and then I'd feel like someone asked me a question. I'd answer that question, not realizing
You
I'm
wake
answering it
yourself
out
up.
loud.
Party would pause. and be like,
you
"What's
wake
going
yourself
on?"
up because you'd be like, what's the
But wait,
what?
Bob.
What?
but-
What?
but-
Like, I didn't say anything. You're talking gibberish. And
But Bob, it's on the boat. Remember, we put it there after the invasion. And you're like, what the fuck?
See, this would happen when I hung out with Alex, like outside of that situation. Like we would hang out at our dorms and stuff, and he would like fall asleep while he was hanging out watching me play video games and start saying random shit about video games.
I didn't record myself doing that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do 24-hour recording of me playing something.
We'll
so
do
that
that when y'all come over, because I know you're gonna do that.
Yeah, we got to keep Alex up to the point that he starts doing it and record it.
Oh man. Okay, that's it. I'm gone. Later.
Yep.
Stop
Yep.
the recording. Good night.
Alright.
Good
Bye.
afternoon. Good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay, I'll be right back. I really have to pee.
Over.